Chapter 2398, Expanding the Faction. However, Lu Ming did not take the Xian family's matter to heart at all. Now, in the primordial realm, he had basically gotten rid of all his enemies, so he could more or less be at ease. Next, Lu Ming still had two things to do. The first was to deal with the Death God Nation. The second matter was about the Hunyuan sex inheritor. Back then, he had passed the Hunyuan sex assessment and obtained the position of the Hunyuan sex gold inheritor. At that time, he had received a list. The name list recorded the inheritors of Hunyuan sect since ancient times, such as the silver and bronze inheritors. According to the rules, these inheritors had to listen to Lu Ming. However, in the past, Lu Ming did not dare to rely on his identity as a golden inheritor to look for these people and order them around. This was because most of these people were at the martial emperor realm. There were even true emperors and even great emperors among them. Given Lu Ming's previous abilities, he would most likely be slapped to death by these people if he went to look for them. But now it was possible. Lu Ming planned to subdue all these people first. Then he would eliminate the Death God Nation. However, in order to subdue those people, he had to wait for a while. After the matter of Aeon City was spread, it would be much easier to do so. Lu Ming and the rest stayed in Aeon City. The news about the Battle of Aeon City spread like a hurricane. Not only did it spread in the Divine Land, but it also spread to other regions. In an instant, a magnitude 12 earthquake occurred in the primordial realm. Lu Ming had returned in a domineering manner and destroyed the Mu family, the overlord force of Aeon City, in one fell swoop. He killed all the experts of the Mu family and displayed his terrifying combat strength. However, the most shocking thing was that in the end, a heavenly emperor tried to kill Lu Ming, but he was easily killed by Lu Ming's subordinates. Lu Ming actually had a terrifying heavenly emperor as his subordinates. Everyone who heard this news was shocked. They knew that Lu Ming had defied the heavens and rose to power. Back then, Lu Ming was declared by the Celestial the Arch that he would never become the Arch in this life. Many people called him trash and a cripple. But how many years had passed? Lu Ming rose to power and his combat strength was terrifyingly powerful. He killed more than 10 great emperors of the Mu family alone. That was a dozen great emperors. What kind of battle record was this? It was simply frightening. The more terrifying thing was that Lu Ming had the Celestial the Arch as his subordinate. After hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded and speechless. Everyone knew that an unrivaled figure had risen with unstoppable momentum. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In the past month, the entire Yuan continent was talking about Lu Ming. It's time. The first one will be the Lu family. They're in Aeon City. In an inn in Aeon City, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. He then led Dandan and the rest in a direction. The Lu family was a powerful force in Aeon City, and their strength was not weaker than the Xian family. On the Hunyuan sex list, it was recorded that the Lu family's patriarch was the Hunyuan sex inheritor. Furthermore, he was a silver inheritor. The Lu clan was considered one of the strongest forces above the Hunyuan sex inheritors. The moment Lu Ming moved, he was immediately noticed by those who had been paying attention to him at all times. Immediately, countless people followed Lu Ming from a distance. Where is Lu Ming going? This direction seems to be the direction to the Lu family. Could it be that Lu Ming is going to the Lu family? Many people were guessing. Now it could be said that Lu Ming's every move touched people's hearts. The Lu family had also received the news long ago. The entire Lu family's higher-ups were alarmed. Some of the Lu family's elders who had been in seclusion came out one after another. The Lu family was in a tense atmosphere. Lu Ming wanted to come to the Lu family? What was he doing? Could it be that someone from the Lu family had offended Lu Ming? The higher-ups of the Lu family were extremely anxious. Lu Ming's speed was neither fast nor slow. Not long after, he arrived at the Lu residence. As soon as Lu Ming arrived, a large group of figures flew out from the Lu family. The ones leading them were all white-haired old men. They were all experts from the Lu family and there were more than 10 great emperors. Welcome, brother Lu Ming. I'm sorry for not coming out to welcome you. The head of the Lu family stepped forward and cupped his fists repeatedly. He was full of smiles and was very polite. Putting everything else aside, Lu Ming's ability alone was enough for him to be polite to him. Now, no one would treat Lu Ming as a young junior. Instead, They would treat him as a great emperor with unfathomable abilities. You're welcome. Lu Ming cupped his fists casually. I wonder what is the matter that little brother Lu Ming has come to the Lu family? The head of the Lu family asked tentatively. I want to see Lu Gao. Lu Ming went straight to the point. Lu Gao was the patriarch of the Lu family. You want to see the forefather? Master Liu's expression changed. What's wrong? Can't I? Lu Ming said. Of course, but the patriarch is in seclusion. We can go and inform him. Brother Lu Ming, why don't you come in and have a seat first? The head of the Lu family said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and followed the people from the Lu family into the Lu residence. The Lu family immediately served the fine wine and delicacies. Lu Ming smiled faintly. This was the change brought about by strength. If he had not fought with the Mu family, had not made a name for himself, and had no power, Lu Ming would have been killed by the Lu family's experts with one slap if he had rashly gone to the Lu family and asked to meet their ancestor. But now, the other party was going to serve him courteously, so all he had to do was wait. Lu Ming, Qiu Yu, and the rest chatted while they waited. They didn't have to wait for long before the Lu family's master and the others came over with an old man with a face full of wrinkles. This old man is Lu Gao. Greetings, little brother Lu. As soon as the old man arrived, he greeted him with a smile. This old man was the Lu family's patriarch, Lu Gao. He was also the Han Yuan sect's silver inheritor. It was obvious that he had heard about Lu Ming. That was why he was so polite. Senior is too polite. Lu Ming also smiled faintly. Brother Lu Ming, may I know why you've come to find me? Lu Gao asked, his eyes filled with doubt. Senior, do you remember what this is? A token appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It was the Han Yuan sect's golden inheritor token. Seeing this token, Lu Gao's expression suddenly changed, and he blurted out, Han Yuan sect's gold inheritor. Senior, do you still remember the oath you made back then? Lu Ming asked with a smile. Lu Gao's expression changed rapidly. With his cultivation, the oath from back then could not restrain him at all. He could completely break free from the shackles of the oath. However, the person in front of him was Lu Ming. He was a heaven's favorite with unparalleled talent who had just destroyed the Mu family, and he had several terrifying heavenly emperors behind him. He had to be cautious. Lu Gao naturally remembers the oath he made back then. With that, Lu Gao waved his hand, and a token appeared in his hand. It was the Han Yuan sect's silver-ranked inheritor token. Lu Ming did not say anything and waited for Lu Gao to continue. Lu Gao's eyes flickered, as if he was thinking. In the end, his eyes calmed down, as if he had made a decision. Chapter 2398. Killing their way to the Death God Nation. I've sensed the appearance of the Golden Inheritor decades ago. I didn't expect it to be you. Lu Gao. Greetings, young master. With that, Lu Gao cupped his fists and bowed deeply to Lu Ming. On the side, the Lu family's master and the others were dumbfounded. Senior, there's no need to be so polite. Please rise. Lu Ming revealed a smile. Lu Gao's action was equivalent to submitting to Lu Ming. What are you guys doing? From now on, our Lu family will follow young sect master's lead. If young sect master has any instructions in the future, the Lu family swears to follow you with our lives. Lu Gao looked at the Lu family's head and the others. So, it's the gold inheritor of Han Yuan sect. The higher-ups of the Lu family had already guessed what was going on. They looked at each other and then bowed to Lu Ming. If it was an ordinary heaven's favorite with the Han Yuan sect's gold inheritor token, they would have chased him out even if they did not kill him on the spot. However, Lu Ming was different. Lu Ming's talent was too shocking. Now that his abilities were extremely profound, his future was limitless. It was not a problem for the Lu family to submit to Lu Ming. Everyone please rise. Lu Ming quickly helped the senior members of the Lu family up. Since the other party was willing to submit to him, he naturally saw his strength and potential. Naturally, he would not put on an overbearing appearance. It's fine as long as you all remember this. I still have to go somewhere else. Goodbye. With that, Lu Ming stepped into the air and left. After Lu Ming and the rest came out, many people started to make guesses. They did not know what had happened to Lu Ming in the Lu family. Lu Ming did not stop. Not long after, He left Aeon City and headed to his next destination. The Tianwen sect was a huge force in the land of the divine fate. Their strength was not inferior to the Lu family. One of the Tianwen sect's patriarchs was also the Hunyuan sect's silver inheritor. After Lu Ming arrived, everyone in the Tianwen sect was very polite to him. This trip was also very smooth, and the old ancestor of the Tianwen sect was willing to submit. The main thing was that he had killed a heavenly emperor in the Battle of Aeon City. This intimidating power was too strong, and those sects and forces did not dare to resist or disobey. If Lu Ming wanted to destroy them in a fit of anger, they would not be able to resist. Following that, Lu Ming visited one force after another according to the list. There were both big and small powers, and they were not limited to the Divine Mandate realm. There were other regions as well. Lu Ming spent a total of 3 months before he managed to visit all the forces. In the past 3 months, Lu Ming had almost traveled all over the Yuan continent. None of those forces dared to fight back. They all submitted to him obediently. In this way, Lu Ming's invisible power was already extremely terrifying and spread all over the Yuan continent. At that time, as long as Lu Ming waved his arms, powerful people would definitely gather and the world would be shaken. After settling these matters, Lu Ming returned to the Heavenly Emperor City and asked Qiu Yu to stay there. It's time to deal with the Death God Nation. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. He would never be at ease if he did not get rid of this force. He then brought Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, and Thunder One back to the Divine Land. After arriving at the Divine Land, Lu Ming headed to a barren place according to the memory of the assassin from the Death God Nation that he had seen. Here, they found a remote teleportation array. Through this teleportation array, they arrived at a hidden cave. However, this was far from the end. They left the cave and found another teleportation formation in a hidden place tens of thousands of miles away. Just like that, they went through 9 teleportations in total. After the 9th teleportation, they finally arrived at their destination. On the ground, a huge square suddenly emitted a dazzling light. The figures of Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, and Thunder One appeared. Who are you people? As soon as Lu Ming and the rest appeared, they heard a cold shout. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the square and discovered a few figures looking at them in shock. The person who will kill you, Lu Ming said coldly and threw a punch. These few people had just entered the martial emperor realm. How could they withstand Lu Ming's punch? They were directly blasted into pieces. What a huge city! Lu Ming and the rest looked in front. In front of them, a huge city stood tall. On the city walls, there were pieces of shining stones, which gave this place a little light. The ancient city was underground. It was the headquarters of the Death God Nation, the ancient city in the memory of the assassins. They were now in a square in front of the ancient city's gate. Enemy attack! At this moment, a sharp cry came from the ancient city, startling the entire city. Buzz! 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 In the ancient city, there were black shadows constantly flashing. They were all assassins from the Death God Nation. Today, I will destroy the Death God Nation. Lu Ming was the first to step forward. The group of them moved quickly and arrived at the ancient city in an instant. There were no defensive formations on the ancient city. This was because no one had ever found one in the Death God Nation's countless years of history, so there was naturally no need for any defensive formations. They easily passed through the city wall. Kill! Kill them! As soon as they entered the ancient city, sharp sword lights shot at them from all directions. However, these sword beams stopped midway, frozen in midair by the Bubbles space-time laws. Let's go back. Bubbles waved her hand and the sword lights shot back at an even faster speed. Blood splattered everywhere, and screams rang out. Dozens of assassins in black died on the spot, killed by their own sword lights. However, black shadows flickered in the ancient city, and more assassins were rushing over. 17 different types of light emanated from Lu Ming's body. These lights condensed into spear rays and shot out in all directions. At the same time, Bubbles and Dandan also made their moves, attacking in all directions. More and more assassins were killed, and their bodies fell to the ground like rain. The strongest of the assassins was only at the true Emperor realm. Naturally, they were no match for them and were killed in large numbers. Earth One and Thunder One didn't make a move. He had brought them here just in case. They didn't need to do anything to deal with these assassins. They kept moving forward like tigers in a flock of sheep. They killed more and more black-clothed assassins as they kept pushing toward the center of the city. "You guys, retreat!" A voice came from the center of the city. In an instant, the assassins in black retreated and disappeared without a trace. At the center of the city, a terrifying killing intent spread out. 1, 2, 3. There were more than 30 auras, each of which was extremely terrifying and exuded an extremely cold killing intent. Great Emperor. These auras belonged to Great Emperor realm experts. The Death God Nation was indeed terrifying. There were more than 30 Great Emperors as soon as they appeared, and they were even stronger than the MU family. Chapter 2400, Annihilate All. Buzz. Whoosh. In the depths of the Death God Nation's ancient city, more than 30 Great Emperors appeared. Lu Ming. When they saw Lu Ming's appearance, someone exclaimed in shock. More than 30 Great Emperors stopped in their tracks, their eyes filled with fear. They did not expect Lu Ming to be the one to kill his way here. The Death God Nation naturally knew about the battle at Aeon City. They never expected that Lu Ming would be able to find the headquarters of the Death God Nation. They looked at Earth One and Thunder One behind Lu Ming and were even more frightened. Leave this place. One of them roared and retreated. There were Heavenly Emperor powerhouses beside Lu Ming. How could they fight? They would only die if they went up to fight. Now, they only wanted to escape from this place. Senior Earth One, Senior Thunder One, I'll have to trouble you. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Earth One and Thunder One. With so many Great Emperors, if he wanted to kill them all, he could only ask Earth One and Thunder One to help. I alone am enough. Let's go. Lei Yi said first. Then, he turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out. Earth One laughed but didn't make a move. Zzzzzzz. After Lei Yi rushed out, the sky suddenly filled with endless lightning. Bolts of lightning, thicker than an arm, covered the sky like a spider web and shot towards the 30-odd Great Emperor assassins. These thunderbolts were naturally not ordinary thunderbolts. They were divine powers that Lei Yi had condensed with the heavenly Tao, and they were extremely powerful. Bang! Bang! The Great Emperor realm assassins were struck by the lightning and turned into ashes before they could even scream. Ordinary Great Emperors would be killed instantly by the Heavenly Emperor. More than 30 Great Emperor realm assassins were killed in an instant. All of you die. Lei Yi did not stop. He waved one hand and a ball of lightning appeared in the sky. This ball of lightning floated in the sky above the ancient city and then exploded into countless thunderbolts. Like raindrops, they bombarded the assassins in the ancient city. Bang! 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 In an instant, countless assassins in the ancient city were killed by the lightning and turned into ashes. There were countless assassins in the Death God Nation's headquarters, but at this moment, almost all of them were wiped out. Also, at this moment, a cold light flashed in Lei Yi's eyes as he headed deeper into the ancient city. Lu Ming and the rest followed him at top speed. Whoosh! 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 In the depths of the ancient city, there were 7 or 8 figures that were moving extremely fast. They were running in another direction at an extremely fast speed. Peak Emperor. Lu Ming was shocked. They were all peak Great Emperors. The power of the Death God Nation was terrifying. One had to know that even a major force like the MU family only had 2 peak Emperors. There were a total of 8 peak Great Emperors in the Death God Nation. Moreover, their speed was astonishing. If it was only Lu Ming and Dandan, they would not be able to stop them. But now, with Earth One, Thunder One, and the others here, it was different. You still want to run in front of me? Lei Yi sneered and took a step forward. His figure turned into a flash of lightning and rushed out. He rushed out in an instant and caught up with the other party. Zzzzzzz. Lightning filled Lei Yi's hand, forming a spear of lightning that pierced through. Quickly destroy that crystal pagoda. At this time, one of the 8 people shouted. Bang! The next moment, the 8 of them were pierced by the lightning spears. Although the 8 of them were peak Great Emperors, they were completely useless against a Heavenly Emperor's attack. All! A few of them let out ear-piercing shrieks as a black shadow twisted violently in their bodies. There was a third eye in the middle of the black shadow's eyebrows. Evil God Tribe. At the sight of this black shadow, Lu Ming was shocked. In an instant, he thought of many things. Back then, the evil spirit religion and the demon spirit religion were also founded by the evil god race. It was obvious that the Death God Nation was the same as the evil spirit religion and the demon spirit religion. They were all created by the evil god race. No wonder they often assassinated the experts and proud children of heaven in the primordial realm. The figures twisted a few times before turning into ashes and dissipating. The Crystal Pagoda. The next moment, Lu Ming thought of the Crystal Pagoda. Before the evil god tribe's expert died, he shouted, "Quickly destroy that Crystal Pagoda." For an expert of the evil god tribe to still think about it even before his death, that Crystal Pagoda must be very important. "Find that Crystal Pagoda," Lu Ming shouted. "I found it," Bubbles spoke. Then, she waved her hands and a space-time tunnel appeared in the air. On the other side of the space-time tunnel was a 3-meter-tall crystal tower. It was shining and covered in all sorts of runes. 2 assassins in black were heading toward the Crystal Pagoda at top speed. They were obviously going to destroy it. In front of this old master. Don't even think about it. Zzzzzzz. Lei Yi rushed through the space-time tunnel. 2 bolts of lightning burst out and killed the 2 men in black. Following that, Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, and 2E also rushed over through the space-time tunnel and arrived at the Crystal Pagoda. The Crystal Pagoda was covered in symbols and was extremely colorful. "What is this?" Lu Ming looked at it carefully and was somewhat puzzled. Could it be the base of a great formation? So it's this kind of thing. Dandan touched her chin and revealed a thoughtful look. "Dandan, do you know what this is?" Lu Ming asked curiously. "Of course I do. This is the most ancient tool for transmitting information. It has almost been lost. It seems like the evil god tribe still has this tool for transmitting information," Dandan said. "A tool to send messages?" Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "Dandan," he said, "can you interpret the information inside?" The evil god tribe's information transmitting tool was something that they valued so much. There might be some incredible information inside. "Young master, I'll go and deal with the rest." Lei Yi's figure flickered and he left the place. As for Dandan, she was wandering around the Crystal Pagoda and began to study it. After a while, Lei Yi returned. Apparently, he had killed all the assassins and brought back all their storage rings. This was an extremely huge harvest. The Death God Nation had accumulated so many resources over the years and they were shockingly abundant. All of them now belonged to Lu Ming. Lu Ming kept all of them. In the future, if the Dragon Alliance wanted to develop, it would definitely need a huge amount of resources. The more they accumulated, the better. Dandan continued to study it. After a few hours, Dandan finally began to work. Runes entered the Crystal Pagoda one after another. "Open!" After Dandan circled the crystal tower 360 times, she let out a low growl and took a step forward. Countless runes covered the crystal tower. Buzz! The Crystal Pagoda buzzed and glowed brightly. Then, information began to spread out from the Crystal Pagoda. It was very strange. They stood by the Crystal Pagoda and could clearly access the information. In fact, there were even images emerging. This is. When Lu Ming came into contact with some information, his pupils suddenly widened and he was shocked. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. He was secretly afraid. Fortunately, they had discovered him. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. "Kill, we must kill them, chirp chirp." Bubbles cried out as well, dancing with joy and a fierce look on her face. The previous generation's space-time spirit mouse was equivalent to Bubbles' mother. But now, after its death, its bones were being used for this kind of torture. It would be strange if she wasn't filled with killing intent. After the plan was made, they immediately left and flew north. According to the information they had obtained, the destination of the foreign tribe's passageway was the endless sea in the north of the Yuan continent. That place, like the divine wilderness continent, was called the Barren Land. However, that place was not as remote as the divine wilderness continent, nor was it as far away from the Yuan continent as the divine wilderness continent. Earth One and Thunder One brought Lu Ming, Dandan, and Bubbles and rushed towards the north of the Yuan continent. With their heavenly emperor realm cultivation, their speed was too fast. Not long after, they left the Yuan continent and came to the boundless sea. They followed the sea and headed north. 2 days later, they finally neared their destination. In front of them was an incomparably huge island. Rather than calling it an island, it could be said that it was a continent. a continent that was similar to the Divine Wilderness continent, but its surface area was even larger than the Divine Wilderness continent. However, compared to the Yuan continent, it was like an island. In the sky above the island, a huge vortex was suspended there, covering the entire island. From this, it could be seen just how huge this passageway would be once it was opened. In an instant, countless evil god tribe members would be able to flood in. From a distance, they could see many black shadows flashing on the island. They were all assassins from the Death God Nation. From the looks of it, that passageway should not have been opened yet. The Death God Nation is working with the evil god tribe to open the passageway as soon as possible. Dandan said in a low voice. Let's attack. We'll kill the people of the Death God Nation first, and then destroy the Great Formation here. Lu Ming said. The others all nodded. Buzz! Buzz! They moved. They didn't hide their figures anymore and rushed toward the island. In a few breaths, they were close to the island. There's someone. Not good. I've been discovered. Kill them. More than 1,000 men in black rose into the sky from the island and launched an attack on Lu Ming and the rest. Whoosh! Whoosh! Thousands of sword gleams shot toward Lu Ming and the rest from all directions like raindrops. Die! Die! Lei Yi shouted coldly and struck out with his palm. Endless thunderbolts formed in the air like a spider web and rushed towards the black-clothed men. Those men in black couldn't resist at all and were killed immediately. From a distance, thousands of men in black fell to the ground like thousands of mosquitoes. Kill! Lu Ming shouted coldly and dashed into the island. This island was really huge, as big as a continent. There were countless assassins from the Death God Nation on this island, and it was obvious that all the other creatures on this island had been killed by them. As Lu Ming and the group went deeper, men in black rushed out from all over the island. Humans of the primordial realm. Kill! All of a sudden, a series of loud roars rang out. From the depths of the island, a group of burly figures rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. Their auras were extremely shocking. Great Emperor! There were at least a few dozen great emperors charging toward them. The most shocking thing was that these great emperors were all from the evil god race. How could there be so many evil god tribesmen in the primordial realm? Not good. It's very likely that the passageway has already been slightly torn apart. That's why some of the evil god tribe members have entered. Dandan's expression changed and became extremely serious. If that was the case, then the passageway was not far from being completely opened. In an instant, the members of the evil god race had already charged over. Die! The Great Desolation Spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a shake of the Great Desolation Spear, rays of spear light flew out and killed a few great Emperor-level foreign tribe cultivators. At the same time, Earth One and the rest also made their move. With the two heavenly monarchs attacking, great sovereigns were no match for them and were constantly killed. However, from the depths of the island, more and more figures flew out. They were all from the evil god race, and there were so many of them that it was shocking. From their auras, there were actually more than 100 great Emperor realm experts. The number was still increasing, and there were quite a few peak great emperors. No matter how many come, kill them all. Earth One's eyes were filled with killing intent. The meteor hammer appeared in his hand and gave off a terrifying aura. Boom! The meteoric hammer suddenly blasted out, like a planet smashing forward. Chapter 2402, Crisis. The meteor hammer was a Heaven Dao soldier and was extremely terrifying. When activated by Earth One, its power was even more shocking. This strike was like a huge star smashing out. If it hit the ground, the island would be shattered. A Heaven Dao soldier. It's the Celestial Emperor. Not good. The faces of the evil god race members changed as they retreated rapidly. However, their speed was not as fast as the meteor hammer. The meteor hammer was about to hit them. People of the primordial realm, how dare you kill our race's powerhouses? You're courting death. At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the island. Then, a huge palm stretched out from the depths of the island. The palm was covered in pitch-black scales that blocked out the sky and the sun. It collided with the meteor hammer. Boom! It was as if the end of the world had arrived. After an incomparably violent boom, the meteor hammer actually trembled and was struck back by this palm. However, the palm was completely fine. After exchanging a blow with the Heaven Dao soldier, his palm did not show any signs of abnormality, not even a scale falling off. The hand retracted, and a figure suddenly appeared in the sky. This was an evil god tribe member, and his entire body was covered in black scales. From the looks of it, he seemed like an ordinary member of the evil god race. However, his body size was very different from that of an ordinary member of the evil god race. The ordinary members of the evil god race were all tall and burly. However, this evil god race member's body was similar to that of an ordinary person's, and it was well-proportioned and slender. Apart from the scales all over his body and the third eye between his brows, he was no different from a human. However, his aura was extremely terrifying and powerful. Not good, it's a peerless expert. Earth One's expression changed drastically as he shouted. There was actually a peerless expert here. Only existences above the 4-star Heavenly Emperor level could be called peerless experts. Kill! Die! The evil god tribe's peerless powerhouse shouted coldly. He waved his hand, and his palm rapidly grew in size, pressing down on 2E. At the same time, a destructive light burst out from his third eye, turning into a destructive battle sword that slashed down on Lu Ming and the others. Earth One erupted with all his strength and controlled the meteor hammer to strike. As for Lei Yi, he opened his mouth and spat out a combat sword that was shining with lightning. It exuded a terrifying aura and attacked the evil god tribe. This was Lei Yi's Heaven Dao soldier. The Primal Chaos Palace had left behind 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. One was with Thunder One and the other with Gold One. Boom! Boom! With 2 consecutive terrifying rumbles, Lei Yi and 2E were actually blocked and could not do anything to each other. Heaven Dao soldiers. 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. Ha ha ha, my luck isn't bad, they're all mine. The evil god tribe's peerless expert laughed and unleashed his full power as he charged toward Earth One and Thunder One. Earth One and Thunder One also unleashed their full strength and engaged in a great battle with the other party. However, it was difficult to determine the victor in a short time. The 2 of them were entangled and unable to escape. Young master, you guys should leave quickly. Earth One roared. This time, it was impossible for them to destroy the other party. Things had gone beyond their expectations. The alien race had already torn a hole in the passage. Not only were there a large number of experts entering, but there was even a peerless expert. This peerless expert had the cultivation of a 4-star Heavenly Emperor and was extremely powerful. Earth One and Thunder One's cultivation was at 2-star Celestial Emperor. Even with the help of the Heaven Dao soldiers, the 2 of them could only barely protect themselves when facing each other. And this was when the other party didn't have Heaven Dao soldiers. If they did, they would be dead for sure. The only thing they could do now was to stall the other party and let Lu Ming and the rest escape so that they could pass the news to the Heaven Realm. Earth One, Thunder One. Lu Ming roared. Let's go, young master. We must leave. The news here must be spread. Don't worry about us. We have our own ways to escape. Lei Yi also shouted. Let's go. Lu Ming gritted his teeth. He no longer hesitated and turned to leave. However, at this moment, a large group of the evil god race had already surrounded them and were charging toward them with attacks. Kill! Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot and he kept sweeping his long spear. Bang! Bang! Those who were swept by Lu Ming's long spear exploded immediately. No matter if they were true emperors or great emperors. Brat, die! An unusually burly member of the evil god race held a battle axe and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. A terrifying force gushed over. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but retreat. Peak Emperor. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could fight against a 6-star Great Emperor, but he was definitely no match for a peak Great Emperor. In addition, Dandan and Bubbles had also encountered strong enemies. Bubbles' cultivation had yet to break through to the Great Emperor realm. In such a battle, he would not be of much use. He stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and assisted him. On the other hand, Dandan was surrounded by several peak Great Emperors. However, Dandan's battle power was extremely strong and she completely suppressed the peak Emperors, forcing them to retreat. Buzz! All of a sudden, Dandan gave up on attacking. In a flash, she rushed toward Lu Ming and sent the evil god tribe member who was attacking Lu Ming flying with a single move. He spat out a large mouthful of blood. Lu Ming, follow me. We're going out. Die! Dandan shouted as he charged forward. Every time he attacked, it was like a world was being blasted out. Even peak emperors couldn't stop him. Bang! Bang! A few peak great emperors were sent flying and spat out blood. Everyone stop them. Don't let them escape. The peerless expert of the evil god tribe shouted. Kill! Kill them! A large group of evil god tribe members rushed over and attacked Lu Ming and the others without any regard for their lives. Space-time. Bubble's small hands kept waving, trying to seal off the space-time and stop those foreign races. It was a pity that Bubble's cultivation base was too weak. He could block those below Great Emperor, but he could not block those above Great Emperor, especially those advanced Great Emperors. The other party struggled with all its might and broke free from the Bubble's space-time power. The peak Great Emperors ignored the Bubble's space-time power and continued to attack Lu Ming and the others. There were too many of them. Although Dandan's combat strength was strong and she could crush experts of the same level, there were too many of them. She couldn't take the continuous attacks. At least 10 peak Great Emperors were attacking Dandan. Their path was blocked and it was difficult for them to get out. Boom! 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 At this moment, the vortex above the island let out a deafening roar. It seemed that someone was trying to break the passage and come here. Lu Ming and the rest were anxious. If even more powerful evil god tribe members came, they would really be finished. Roar! Dandan roared loudly and transformed into her true form, her attack power even stronger. One of the peak emperors from the evil god tribe was struck by Dandan and was instantly annihilated. However, at the same time, dozens of attacks fell on Dandan. These attacks were all from 6-star Great Emperors and even peak Great Emperors. No matter how strong Dandan's defense was, she couldn't take it and was forced to retreat. Chapter 2403, Frenzied Borrowing. Kill the 2 weak ones first. Kill. Someone from the evil god race shouted. Instantly, 2 peak Great Emperor evil god race members went around Dandan and charged toward Lu Ming and Pow Pow. Before they even reached Lu Ming, 2 terrifying beams of destructive light were already heading for him. Lu Ming exerted all his strength and 17 types of laws covered his entire body. His muscles trembled non-stop and he swept out the Great Desolation Spear. Boom! Boom! The 2 beams of destructive light bombarded the Great Desolation Spear. The Great Desolation Spear trembled violently and the power of law on it was destroyed. The 2 beams of energy surged over. Lu Ming's body shook violently and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Wounds appeared on his body and blood flowed out. Lu Ming was no match for 2 peak Great Emperors and was injured in one move. Fortunately, Lu Ming's defense was amazing and he had used the indestructible ancient scroll. His injuries were healing rapidly and it did not affect his combat strength much. What do we do? Lu Ming's mind was racing. He was no match for a peak emperor. As for the Heavenly Emperor corporeal body, there wasn't much energy stored in it. If he wanted to deal with a peak Great Emperor, the energy in the Heavenly Emperor corporeal body had to reach 100%. Otherwise, it would be useless. Under such circumstances, even if Celestial Emperor's corporeal bodis energy reached 100%, it would still be useless. There were too many foreign races. At this moment, there were almost 20 peak Great Emperors, and there were even more Great Emperors of other levels. Deep in the island, alien races were still coming. It was as if an army of alien races was stationed on this island. Lu Ming still had the fallen star bow. However, his cultivation was only at the true emperor realm. Even if he used the fallen star bow, it would not be of much use. In addition, Lu Ming still had the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. Unfortunately, the energy of the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron seemed to have been exhausted after the previous battle. All these years, there was no movement at all, and Lu Ming could not control it. Now, he only had one trump card, and that was the third bloodline. In the past, he didn't dare to use the third bloodline as it was too evil and seemed to have endless power. However, every time he used the power of the third bloodline, he felt as if he would be eroded by it and become a killing puppet. However, he had no choice but to use it today. Otherwise, they would all have to stay here. They needed someone to escape and spread the news. Otherwise, it would affect the safety of the Tian Yuan world and Lu Ming's family and friends. Come on! Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. With a thought, his third bloodline appeared. A wave of energy gushed out from the third bloodline and surged into Lu Ming's body. Kill, kill, kill! Roars rang out in Lu Ming's mind, and a cold killing intent emanated from him. His eyes and hair had turned blood red. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lu Ming thrust his spear twice, and two spear gleams collided with the two-peak Great Emperor Realm Evil God tribe members. With two loud bangs, Lu Ming's body swayed and he took a few steps back. However, he had also blocked the attacks of the two Evil God tribe members. What is this? Doubt and solemnness flashed in the eyes of the two Evil God tribe members. Lu Ming's strength suddenly increased explosively, making them feel puzzled. Not enough, it's still not enough. Again. Lu Ming growled in his heart. The energy in his third bloodline continued to surge into Lu Ming's body, making his killing intent even stronger. Kill! Kill! Lu Ming shouted and charged at the two Evil God tribe members. This time, Lu Ming's strength had increased greatly, and he could completely suppress the two members of the Evil God tribe. Bang! Bang! The two members of the Evil God race were sent flying by Lu Ming. However, they were not seriously injured and only suffered minor injuries. Not enough, it's still not enough. Lu Ming roared in his heart. Today, borrowing a little bit of power was far from enough. He had to have overwhelming power to escape. Boom! The third bloodline was like a boundless sea of blood, filled with boundless power. At this moment, the sea of blood churned and waves of energy gushed into Lu Ming's body. Blood mist continued to spread out from Lu Ming's body. There were even bone spikes that appeared on his body. Lu Ming's appearance became extremely ferocious. The bubble was shocked and flew away from Lu Ming's body. Brother Lu Ming. Bubbles was extremely anxious. Bubbles had seen Lu Ming's appearance before. At that time, Lu Ming almost lost himself and became a killing puppet. Bubble, leave quickly. Lu Ming roared. At this moment, his will was severely challenged. His heart was filled with endless killing intent. He only retained a trace of will to control himself. Roar! Then, Lu Ming let out a roar and rushed toward Dandan. At this moment, Lu Ming simply put away the Great Desolation Spear, because his claws had become extremely sharp. Kill! Lu Ming roared and clawed at a peak emperor of the non-human race. This non-human emperor was unable to resist at all. His attack and defense were destroyed by Lu Ming. Then, Lu Ming grabbed his body and tore him in half. Then, Lu Ming charged toward the other alien races. Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. It's Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart is still alive. Ha ha ha. We must capture that kid. In the sky, an extremely excited voice came from the other side of the passage. Then, the passage began to shake crazily. The wind and clouds changed color, as if it was going to be torn apart at any time. As for the alien races, they became even more frenzied when they heard the voice. They kept charging at Lu Ming. Die, die! Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. His claws were like knives as he pounced. Lu Ming tore the alien races apart one by one. Even a peak emperor couldn't stop Lu Ming. Those below the peak emperor realm couldn't even withstand a single blow and were killed by Lu Ming in groups. Dandan, Bubble, charge out with me! Lu Ming roared and charged forward with all his might. Wherever he passed, the alien races were killed continuously, and he carved out a bloody path. At this moment, the bubble flew to Dandan. Dandan carried her and followed behind Lu Ming, charging out together. Don't even think about leaving. The unparalleled expert who was fighting with Earth One and Thunder One shouted coldly. He wanted to give up on Earth One and Thunder One and attack Lu Ming. However, Earth One and Thunder One burst forth with no regard for their lives, pushing the power of the Heaven Dao soldiers to the extreme and holding on tightly to the other party. It was not easy for the other party to escape in a short time. Sila! At this moment, a loud boom came from the passage in the sky. Then, an opening was forcefully opened. One could see that there were two hands on both sides of the opening. They tore it open with all their might, and the opening slowly grew larger, turning into a spatial rift. Boom! A towering figure suddenly rushed out of the crack and appeared in the sky above the island. The towering figure was burly and covered in purple scales. It exuded a terrifying aura. The Celestial Emperor. This was a heavenly emperor-level powerhouse. Although this foreign being was not as powerful as the peerless powerhouse, he was indeed a powerhouse of the heavenly emperor realm. Not good. The expressions of 2E, Lei E, and Dandan changed drastically. Chapter 2404, Endless Number of Experts. At the critical moment, a heavenly emperor from the alien race crossed the void and descended from another world. Even an ordinary heavenly emperor could change the situation. The alien's eyes were ferocious as he looked at Lu Ming and Dandan. He took a step forward and appeared above them. Boom! A huge mace appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. The mace had yet to reach them, but the terrifying qi had already made it difficult for Dandan, Lu Ming, and the rest to breathe. Dandan and Lu Ming made their moves at the same time. Dandan opened her mouth and spat out a word, while Lu Ming punched out continuously with both fists, gathering into a blood-red fist force that hit the mace. Boom! Boom! With 2 consecutive loud bangs, the small world that Dandan had spat out shook violently and then flew back into Dandan's body. Dandan's body retreated rapidly and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming's fist force was also crushed. He retreated rapidly. His body felt like it was about to be torn apart. The Celestial the Arch was too powerful. Although Lu Ming could kill a peak great emperor with the power he borrowed, he was still no match for the Celestial the Arch. All of you die. The non-human Celestial Thearch's eyes were ferocious as he charged toward Lu Ming and the others. That brat has the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. We can't kill him. Take him down. As for the others, kill them without mercy. Another voice came from the other side of the passage. The alien heavenly emperor's eyes flickered as he brandished his mace and smashed it towards Dandan. Don't even think about it. Lu Ming rushed over and blocked this move, but his injuries worsened. Boom! 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 At this moment, the tunnel was shaking violently, and the crack was getting bigger and bigger. Buzz! At this time, another figure rushed out of the crack. It was also an alien race powerhouse. From his aura, he was also a heavenly emperor. Damn it! Earth 1, Thunder 1, and the others roared, extremely anxious. The foreign races were going all out and continuously sending their experts over. That passage hadn't been fully opened yet. The non-humankind would have to pay a heavy price to send their powerful warriors here. But the alien race didn't seem to care. I'm finished. This lord will die here today. Dandan looked up to the sky and sighed. With 2 non-human heavenly emperors appearing in a row, there was no way they could escape. Ha ha ha, just surrender. The non-human Celestial the Arch laughed and swung his mace at Lu Ming and the rest again. The foreign being who came later also charged over. If this continues, it'll go all out. Strength, strength, I want strength. Lu Ming roared in his heart. As you wish. A cold voice came from the 3rd bloodline. The blood sea churned and formed a huge human face. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of more powerful energy surged into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's power was rising steadily. This kid. The 2 foreign heavenly emperors looked grim. It's the power of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Attack and take him down. A dignified voice came from the other side of the passage. Boom, boom, boom. That passage shook more violently. The alien tribes were still worried. They wanted to send more experts here. Kill! At this moment, Lu Ming looked up to the sky and roared. At this moment, his will was completely overwhelmed by the endless killing intent. At this moment, there was only endless killing intent in Lu Ming's heart and nothing else. He had forgotten everything and was completely controlled by his instincts and killing intent. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and charged toward the 2 foreign Celestial the Arch. The 2 foreign Celestial Thearchs had grave expressions on their faces. They did not dare to hold back. They used all their strength to fight Lu Ming. Continuous rumbles were heard. The 2 foreign Celestial Thearchs were locked in a fierce battle with Lu Ming. The alien Celestial the Arch was actually blocked by Lu Ming. Brother Lu Ming. Bubbles was extremely anxious. It's over. This kid is completely controlled by the killing intent. Dandan was also extremely anxious. Little guy, we must rush out. If no one manages to rush out, then everything will be over. Dandan sent a voice transmission to Bubble and then rushed out with all her might. However, there were too many foreign races. They kept rushing towards Dandan and blocked her way. They were completely passive. 2E and Lei E were blocked while Lu Ming was engaged in a fierce battle with the 2 foreign Celestial Thearchs. Dandan and the others were also blocked. If this continued, they would be left behind sooner or later. Power, power. Lu Ming had lost his consciousness and only had his instincts. He instinctively wanted to tear apart the enemy in front of him and kill all the living beings he saw. Therefore, the third bloodline continued to pour energy into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's strength grew stronger and stronger. At first, he could only fight to a draw with the two Outlander Heavenly Emperors. However, slowly, Lu Ming began to gain the upper hand and began to suppress the two Outlanders. The two alien Heavenly Emperors were forced to retreat by Lu Ming. One of the alien Heavenly Emperors was caught off guard and was grazed by Lu Ming's sharp claws. A large piece of his flesh was torn off, causing him to retreat in fear. Kill! Lu Ming roared and swept his claws. The surrounding alien races below the celestial the arch level were swept by the claw and exploded into the ashes dissipated. The alien races below the celestial the arch level were so frightened that they retreated. They did not dare to approach Lu Ming. Trash, all of you are trash. An angry roar came from the passage. On the other side of the passage, on the other side of the endless void, was another world. It was the world of the foreign races, the evil god world. In a vast and uninhabited area of the evil god tribe, there was an extremely huge formation. The base of this formation had been condensed from the bones of the space-time spirit rat, and it was filled with countless runes. At this moment, there were a few alien races standing in the sky. These foreign beings looked no different from humans. They had purple hair and a third eye in the middle of their brows. This was the royal clan of the evil god race. Behind these few members of the evil god tribe's royal family was a dense and endless army of other races. Above the huge array was an extremely huge passage. It was several times larger than the vortex where Lu Ming and the rest were. At this moment, there were at least a few dozen foreign overlords bombarding the passageway with the power of the formation, trying to open up a gap. You must bring back the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Once the sacred ancestor Bloodheart is resurrected, our race will be invincible. We can conquer the heaven realm in just a few days. One of the evil god tribe's royal members said. This person had a square face and was filled with dignity, as if he held supreme power. That's right. We must bring back the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. It seems that we'll have to go there personally. Beside the dignified royal member were two other royal members of the evil god tribe. At this moment, one of them spoke. All right. The dignified royal in the middle nodded and then said, continue to increase the number of crystals, regardless of the price. All of a sudden, the non-human race members flew out, and an ocean of crystals flew into the formation. The formation glowed, and its power became even stronger. Buzz! Buzz! The two royal family members rushed out and rushed into the passage. Chapter 2405. Titan Longhorn descends. At this moment, the battle had already entered a state of white heat. Lu Ming completely suppressed the two non-human heavenly emperors, and his attacks became more and more ferocious. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. He grabbed one of the alien heavenly emperors and tore him in half with all his might. Save me! The alien didn't die and shouted in fear. Boom! The other alien seized the opportunity and launched a fierce attack on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body trembled and he took a few steps back. He then threw the alien's body away. The foreign heavenly emperor's body fused together, and his face was pale. A heavenly emperor powerhouse would naturally not die so easily, but he was still frightened just now. Lu Ming's aura was too terrifying. His killing intent was as cold as a knife. If no one else helped him, he would really die in Lu Ming's hands. The two foreign heavenly emperors had ugly expressions. If this continued, they would really die here. Boom! 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 At this moment, the tunnel started to shake violently, even more so than before. Then the crack grew bigger and bigger. Then, everyone saw two purple rays of light rush out of the crack. The two rays of purple light faded, revealing two figures. My lords! The two non-human heavenly emperors were overjoyed when they saw the two figures. These two figures were the two royal powerhouses of the non-human race. We're really finished! Dandan shouted. Originally, there were too many powerful beings of the foreign kinds, and they couldn't resist at all. Now there were two more, and they were two royal families of the foreign kinds. From the expressions of the two foreign heavenly emperors, one could tell that they were extremely terrifying beings. A bunch of trash, get out of my way! One of the non-human kings stepped forward. His purple hair danced in the wind, and his body glowed with purple light. At the same time he struck out with his palm. A huge purple palm came crashing down on Lu Ming. That kind of aura was simply earth-shattering, causing people's faces to change. Unparalleled expert. This is an unparalleled expert. Dandan couldn't help but exclaim. Today was the end. This non-human king was a peerless expert above the 4-star heavenly emperor level. His strength was even stronger than the previous peerless expert. He was extremely terrifying. In addition, there was also a non-human royal family that had not made a move, but his strength was definitely terrifying. However, Lu Ming was not the least bit afraid of this move. Or rather, he did not know what fear was. In his heart, there was only killing. Power, power, kill, kill. Lu Ming roared madly. His instinct made him constantly borrow the power of the third bloodline. The surging energy gushed out from Lu Ming's third blood meridian and surged into his body. Cracks began to appear on Lu Ming's body, and blood kept flowing out. It was impossible for Lu Ming to borrow the third bloodline's power endlessly because his physical strength was limited. If there was too much power, his physical body would explode. He was able to use such a powerful force to suppress the Celestial the Arch. It was all thanks to his powerful physical body. Otherwise it would have been impossible. Now, Lu Ming had already reached his limit. Roar! Lu Ming soared into the sky like a wild beast and threw a punch at the palm of the non-human king. Boom! A deafening boom was heard. Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he flew backward like a kite with a broken string. His body cracked and he coughed up blood. The other party had shown mercy. It was obvious that the royal non-human race did not want to kill Lu Ming. They wanted to capture Lu Ming alive for great use. You're putting up a stubborn resistance, the non-human king said coldly. He stretched out his hand again and sent another palm toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming howled fearlessly and once again confronted his opponent. This time, Lu Ming was sent flying and his injuries were even more serious. What are you guys doing? Go and kill those people. A space-time spirit rat and a world turtle, we can get rid of them. The non-human king who didn't make a move ordered coldly. The two foreign heavenly emperors' expressions changed, and they stepped out at the same time, charging toward Dandan and the others. As for the non-human royalty who didn't make a move, he headed toward Earth 1 and Thunder 1. They wanted to end this battle once and for all. At this moment, bzzz. In the distance, a bull's roar came from the distance. The sound was shocking and carried a terrifying power. The low-level non-human beings below the emperor level were all blown apart by the sound. Even the great emperor alien was struck by lightning. His body cracked and he spat out blood. In an instant, countless alien races died on the spot. However, the strange thing was that Dandan and Bubbles were completely fine. As for Lu Ming, after being hit by the cry, his consciousness, which had been completely drowned by the murderous intent, actually showed a trace of clarity. He could barely make out his current situation. This voice. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Old bull. It's that old bull. Ha ha ha. Dandan laughed crazily. In the distance, a giant bull as tall as the sky stepped over. It seemed very slow, but it was actually astonishingly fast. In an instant, it had arrived in front of them. Buzz! The giant bull roared again, and the terrifying sound waves rushed toward the non-human king race and the non-human celestial emperor. The expressions of the two ordinary foreign heavenly emperors changed drastically. They tried their best to block, but they were still sent flying and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. The Titanos. The non-human king who attacked Lu Ming shouted in anger. His entire body glowed and he clapped his hands to resist the sound waves. Boom! Boom! A violent fluctuation was heard. The non-human king's body trembled continuously and he actually retreated. The Titan Longhorn Beetle. Yes, this giant beetle was the Titan Longhorn Beetle. Lu Ming had never expected that the Titan Longhorn Beetle would dare to come to his aid at such a critical moment. Wasn't the Titan Longhorn Beetle guarding a forbidden area in the Azure continent? It had actually rushed here. A heavily injured and sick bull. Do you think you can save them by coming here? Stay here today. The non-human royal who didn't make a move earlier spoke coldly. He took a step forward, and a terrifying aura burst out from his body. He was even stronger than the one who had attacked earlier. What if him included? A figure suddenly appeared beside the Titan Longhorn Beetle. It was a middle-aged man. He was tall and thin, but he was handsome. His eyes were sharp and filled with vicissitudes of life. However, an unfathomable aura emanated from his body. 9 lives, it's you. Ha ha ha, you're all here to save me, right? Ha ha ha. Dandan laughed wildly. Interesting. Today, 4 of the top 10 war beasts of the Heaven Realm have come. Let's get rid of them together. The non-human king who didn't make a move earlier spoke coldly. His body glowed with purple light as he took a step forward and threw a punch at the tall, thin, middle-aged man. As for the other non-human king, he charged towards the Titan Longhorn Beetle. An intense battle began. Go, quickly go. At this moment, Lu Ming managed to regain a trace of his consciousness. He shouted at Dandan and the rest, then leaped and killed the 2 ordinary celestial thearchs of the alien race. Chapter 2406, Captured. Lu Ming's entire body was shrouded in a blood-colored mist. He turned into a stream of light and pounced toward the 2 foreign celestial thearchs. Along the way, the bodies of some of the other alien races exploded. The 2 foreign celestial thearchs' expressions changed drastically. They did not hope to achieve anything, but they hoped that they would not make any mistakes. The 2 of them joined forces to defend with all their might. However, they were still hit by Lu Ming with one move and spat out mouthfuls of blood. They almost died. Retreat! The Titan Longhorn Beetle's voice resounded through the sky. Its horns were like scimitars as it slashed at its opponent. You want to save people with your severely injured bodies? Don't even think about leaving today. The non-human king let out a roar. His entire body was covered in purple light, and his battle power was incomparably powerful. He fought an intense battle with the Titan Longhorn Beetle. If the Titan Longhorn Beetle was at its peak during the ancient times, he wouldn't be its opponent at all. However, in the battle of the ancient times, the Titan Longhorn Beetle had been seriously injured and had yet to recover. He had no fear at all. Buzz! The Titan Longhorn Beetle roared. Its roar shook the heavens, and the void collapsed. Its power was terrifying. In the distance, Earth One and Thunder One were still fighting with an unparalleled expert of the foreign tribe. However, at this moment, the roar of the Titan Longhorn Beetle came rushing over. The unparalleled expert's expression changed as he tried his best to block it and retreated a few steps. With that, Earth One and Thunder One finally found an opportunity to escape. They retreated 10,000 miles and came to Lu Ming's side. Young master, let's go. Earth One roared. Let's go. At this moment, Lu Ming was affected by the Titan Longhorn Beetle and managed to regain a trace of clarity. He also understood the current situation and that it was better to leave. Buzz! 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 They quickly retreated. Stay! At this moment, a loud shout came from the sky. Then the sky cracked open, and a huge purple hand stretched out from the sky. It covered the sky and the sun. It was extremely huge, and it grabbed at Lu Ming, 2E, and Lei E. The pressure was so strong that it was terrifying. It was the most powerful expert that Lu Ming had encountered so far. How is that possible? Lu Ming's pupils contracted rapidly. The other party didn't attack through that passage, but directly broke through the void. If the enemy was in the evil god world, they could actually break through the void and attack. This kind of strength was just too terrifying, not good. Heavenly Emperor at the peak of the Heavenly Emperor realm, retreat! Dandan shouted. However, there was no way to retreat in the face of this huge palm. Young master, leave quickly! Earth One roared, and then burst out with all his strength. He pushed the meteor hammer to the extreme and blasted it toward the large hand. At the same time, Lei Yi activated the Heaven Dao soldier with all his might and attacked the hand. Roar! Lu Ming's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. His body was covered with bone spikes, making him look extremely ferocious. He also attacked the big hand. The 3 of them joined forces, and their power reached the extreme. They bombarded the giant purple hand. Boom! 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 3 earth-shaking explosions occurred in a row, and the airwaves whistled like mountains and seas. The 2 Heaven Dao soldiers trembled violently before flying back. Earth One and Thunder One were jolted back by the force and were sent flying tens of thousands of miles. Lu Ming's body trembled violently as well. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and his body flew backward. However, just as his body was about to fly backward, The huge purple hand burst out with an extremely powerful suction force. It sucked Lu Ming in and flew towards the huge purple hand. Not good. The Titan longhorn beetle and the tall and thin man named 9 Lives wanted to help, but they were held back by 2 foreign tribe royal family members. Buzz! Lu Ming flew directly to the palm of the big hand. Roar! Lu Ming burst out in a frenzy and attacked with all his might, but it was useless. The big hand was firm and immortal, and its strength was extremely strong. He could not break it at all. The next moment, the big hand clenched and grabbed Lu Ming. At this moment, a terrifying and boundless energy gushed into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body trembled, and the last bit of consciousness he had turned blurry and he lost consciousness. After the big hand grabbed Lu Ming, it shrank back. Young master! Earth One and Thunder One roared and wanted to save him. Don't be rash. The person who attacked is a peak heavenly emperor. Although he attacked from a great distance and his power is greatly reduced, Lu Ming has already been captured by him. We can't save him with our strength. Retreat first. The Titanos roared. The aura on his body became stronger and stronger. He suddenly roared and forced his opponent to retreat. Titan, take them away first. I'll block the foreign tribe. The tall and thin middle-aged man said. The aura on his body became stronger and stronger, and his attacking power became more and more astonishing. He actually managed to block the 2 non-human royal families. With a heavily injured body, he can barely unleash an outburst. He can forget about recovering to his peak in his entire life. A non-human king roared. However, the 2 of them were blocked by the tall and thin man. The Titan longhorn beetle's huge body rushed towards Dandan and the others. Buzz! Even the first non-human expert couldn't block his roar. His body trembled and he retreated. The bodies of the 2 ordinary foreign heavenly emperors exploded, and their bodies and souls were destroyed. A large number of non-humans below the heavenly emperor level died. The Titan longhorn beetle's huge body came to Dandan and the other side. A wave of power rolled them up and rushed toward Earth One and Thunder One. Brother Lu Ming! Pow Pow cried out, her eyes staring straight ahead. At this moment, the big hand that was grabbing Lu Ming had already retracted and disappeared in the space of eternal nothingness. The Titan longhorn beetle also sighed inwardly. It wasn't that he didn't want to save her, but that he couldn't. The other party was too strong. He was in existence at the peak of the heavenly emperor realm, a true peak expert. If he was at his peak, he could compete with the other party. Unfortunately, he had been seriously injured in the ancient battle and had not recovered yet. His strength had been greatly reduced and he was not the other party's opponent at all. Let's go, inform the Heaven Realm experts and send people to guard this place. The Titan longhorn beetle activated another wave of power and swept up Earth One and Thunder One, flying into the distance at top speed. Damn it! The 2 non-human kings roared and attacked crazily, trying to kill the tall and thin man. However, the tall and thin man's strength was above the Titan longhorn beetle's. At this moment, he didn't care about his injuries and erupted with a shocking attack, forcing back the 2 people in one fell swoop. His figure flickered, shattering the void and disappearing. The 2 non-human kings' faces were extremely dark. The rest of you, retreat to our realm first. When the passage is fully opened, attack here. The Heaven Realm and the Primordial Realm will fall into the hands of our race sooner or later. A non-human king shouted and then turned around. Not long after, Dandan, Bubbles, 2E, Lei E, the Titan longhorn beetle, and the tall and thin man gathered on a mountain peak in the Yuan continent. Titan, 9 lives this time. Many thanks for your rescue. Dandan sighed. I also accidentally discovered the abnormality here, so I asked the Titan to come with me. I didn't expect to encounter this scene. The tall, thin man sighed. This tall and thin man was the 9 lives devilish silkworm, one of the top 10 battle beasts. Brother Lu Ming, will he be all right? Bubble was extremely worried. I don't think so. Lu Ming's bloodline has an astonishing origin. Judging from the conversation just now, the other party wouldn't kill Lu Ming. Dandan said. During the previous battle, the other party had shouted not to kill Lu Ming and would kill everyone else without mercy. This made Dandan think of many things. I hope so. Earth One and Thunder One sighed. Let's go back to the Heaven Realm and spread the news. Dandan said. Then, everyone's figures flashed and they left the place. Chapter 2407, Evil God World, Awakens. In an ancient secret chamber in the Evil God realm, Lu Ming lay in the middle of the room, his entire body shrouded in a thick blood aura and killing intent. There were more than 10 figures standing around Lu Ming. More than half of these figures were purple-haired non-human royalty. The few people who were at the entrance of the passage earlier were all here. The other alien races also had powerful auras and were terrifying. These were the top experts of the Evil God tribe. Even the weakest of them had a cultivation base of 4-star Heavenly Emperor or above. At that moment, more than a dozen of the foreign kinds were staring at Lu Ming with burning eyes. It's really the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. I didn't expect that the sacred ancestor Bloodheart didn't die in the battle that year. She left behind her natal bloodline and was reborn in the body of a human. This is really unexpected. An old man sighed. This old man was also a member of the royal family, but he was very old. His face was full of wrinkles and his purple hair had lost its luster. Ha ha ha, the heavens are really blessing our race. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart is still alive, and our race will definitely be able to level the heavenly realm, break the realm, and open the sky, achieving supreme glory. That's right. When the time comes, it'll be as easy as turning over a hand to flatten the heaven realm. Ancestral Dragon, don't even think about stopping our tribe. The other non-humans were all excited and laughed. They were waiting for the sacred ancestor Bloodheart to wake up. However, at this moment, their expressions changed drastically. This was because Lu Ming's body was emitting another kind of radiance. Buzz! Lu Ming's body trembled and a stone tablet appeared, growing rapidly. The stone tablet kept shaking and emitted layers of black light that surged toward Lu Ming's body. That's right, this steel was the prison-guarding steel. The light emitted by the prison-suppressing steel gushed into Lu Ming's body and emitted a terrifying suppressive force, suppressing the blood-red light of the third bloodline. Kill, kill, kill! The blood-red radiance roared continuously, as if it wanted to destroy Lu Ming and replace him. However, the prison-suppressing steel glowed brightly and its suppressing power was extremely strong. It kept suppressing the blood-red chi. The blood-red aura emitted by the third bloodline was suppressed by the prison-suppressing steel's power. It slowly wriggled and retracted back into Lu Ming's body. The blood aura in Lu Ming's body slowly became thinner. More than a dozen outsiders were dumbfounded. The prison-guarding steel. It's the prison-guarding steel. Damn it! Why is the prison-guarding steel in this man's body? Damn it! I understand now. The prison-suppressing steel is also his bloodline. It's specially used to suppress the Saint Ancestor Bloodheart. What a powerful scheme. Damn it, let's take this prison-suppressing steel out. Not bad. A dozen foreign kinds shouted. Boom, boom, boom. 3 outsiders attacked at the same time. Their cultivation bases were shockingly powerful, and each of them was a 5-star Celestial Emperor and a 6-star Celestial Emperor. The 3 of them attacked. Their powers formed a sealing force that enveloped the prison-suppressing steel, trying to separate it from Lu Ming's body. Buzz! 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 The prison-suppressing steel shook violently, and Lu Ming's body shook slightly. Strip! The 3 of them roared and exploded with their full power. However, at this moment, the prison-suppressing steel suddenly trembled and shone brightly. A terrifying power spread out from the prison-suppressing steel, as if it could suppress the heavens. Bang! 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 The 3 foreign kinds' powerful beings trembled as if they had suffered a terrible attack. They retreated and spat out a mouthful of blood, their faces pale. No wonder it's the prison-guarding steel. That person's natal weapon is extraordinary. Even if it's not complete, the power it contains is still shocking. Let's attack together. A dignified non-human royal family member said. All right, let's attack together. The others nodded. Immediately, a terrifying aura was emitted from the bodies of the dozen foreign kinds. The weakest among them was a 4-star Great Emperor, and the strongest was a peak Heavenly Emperor. A dozen of them together could sweep across the world. At the same time, more than a dozen people attacked together. More than a dozen rays of light turned into a sealing force, trying to seal the prison-suppressing steel and then strip it out. Buzz! Whoosh! The prison-suppressing steel started to shake crazily. Then, it began to grow in size, and a terrifying power burst out from it. The strength of this force was actually above that of more than a dozen foreign races. Buzz! In the end, the prison-suppressing steel suddenly shook, and an even more terrifying power spread out, directly destroying the sealing power of more than a dozen foreign tribes. Moreover, more than a dozen foreign people were shaken by the power of the prison guarding steel and kept retreating. A few of the weaker ones hit the wall of the secret room, their faces pale and blood oozing from their mouths. More than a dozen foreign kinds had unsightly expressions. With their strength, they could not do anything to the prison-suppressing steel. Damn it, the power of the prison-guarding steel is too strong. Not to mention us, even an unrivaled master would not be able to extract it, unless it was someone of the same level. An old man said with an ugly expression. The other people's faces were a little gloomy. Where could they find people of the same level? Could it be that they had to ask the old ancestor to make a move? However, the old ancestor had been seriously injured in the battle back then and had been in a deep sleep. How could he make a move now? What do we do? Someone asked. There's only one way to strip the prison-suppressing steel, and that's to make this kid do it willingly. As long as he cooperates, it'll be easy to strip the prison-suppressing steel, and Saint Ancestor Bloodheart will wake up. The dignified non-human royal clan member said. This kid will cooperate? The others didn't quite believe it. There's no other way. We can only wait for him to wake up. The dignified royal said. With no other choice, everyone could only wait. The prison-suppressing steel hovered above Lu Ming. Its radiance grew brighter and brighter, forming waves of suppressive force that surged into Lu Ming's body. The blood-colored mist on Lu Ming's body slowly faded. Lu Ming's consciousness had fallen into darkness. He seemed to be floating in the darkness. He had no concept of time and did not know how long he had been floating. After an unknown period of time, a beam of light shot through the darkness. Lu Ming dashed toward the beam of light. Boom! Lu Ming felt a shock in his head and his consciousness recovered in an instant. What happened? That's right, we discovered that the alien races were trying to open the passage. We went to stop them, and a terrifying battle occurred. I've been borrowing the power of the third bloodline like crazy. There's also the Titan Longhorn. I've been caught. Lu Ming muttered. Everything appeared in his mind. Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, Thunder One, and the rest, how are they? With the Titan Longhorn and the others around, it should be fine, right? Lu Ming was worried and he opened his eyes abruptly. What came into view was a secret room. In the secret room, there were pieces of luminous stones inlaid, which illuminated the secret room as if it was daytime. A purple-haired middle-aged man with a square face and an imposing manner looked at Lu Ming with his hands behind his back. There was no one else other than him. You're finally awake. You're Lu Ming, right? The dignified middle-aged man spoke. Even his voice was filled with dignity. Who are you? Wait, you're from a different race. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed as he saw a third eye in between the other party's eyebrows. The royal family of the alien race. A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. Chapter 2408. Hard or soft won't work. I am Wuxia, the realm-breaking general of the evil god realm. The dignified middle-aged man said. Breaking the general? Breaking my heaven realm? Lu Ming sneered. Myriad's eyes were calm, and he didn't say anything. Is this the evil god world? You were the one who caught me, right? Lu Ming said. He sensed carefully and found that this place was indeed different from the heaven realm and the primordial realm. The space here was filled with a strange energy that was very different from the original chi of the heaven realm and the primordial realm. But Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He realized that the laws of heaven and earth here were exactly the same as those in the heaven realm and the primordial realm. He had originally thought that the evil god tribe in the heaven realm and the primordial realm were two different worlds, and the laws of heaven and earth would be completely different. He had not expected that they would be exactly the same. That's strange. Lu Ming was surprised, but this was a good thing for him. That's right, one was the one who caught you, said Wuxia. He stared at Lu Ming and continued. Now, one need your cooperation. One cooperate. Lu Ming's lips curled into a mocking smile. Tell me. Cooperate with me and let me take the prison-suppressing steel out of your body. Wuxia said. You know I have the prison-guarding steel? Lu Ming's gaze flickered. From the beginning to the end, he had never used the prison-suppressing steel. How did the other party know? Was the other party's cultivation so strong that he could see through him, Or did something happen while he was unconscious? Wait, how did one wake up? I've been borrowing the power of the third bloodline like crazy, and my consciousness has been devoured by the endless killing intent of the third bloodline. I'm about to turn into a killing puppet. How did I wake up? It's impossible for him to have saved me. Could it be the prison-suppressing steel? Lu Ming suddenly recalled that when he first obtained a drop of ancestral dragon blood, it had triggered the third bloodline to go berserk. However, it was the prison-suppressing steel that had suppressed the third bloodline. Could it be that the prison-suppressing steel had saved him again? Did the prison-suppressing steel suppress the power of the third bloodline, so he could wake up? It was highly possible. That was why he knew he had the prison-guarding steel. What exactly is the third bloodline? Wait a minute, Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. During the previous battle, the other party shouted at Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. Could he be referring to the third bloodline? What is the third bloodline? What did it have to do with the alien races? The walls of the secret room were made of an unknown material, and there were many mysterious runes drawn on them. Lu Ming shook his head. He understood that since the other party was so assured to lock him up here, it was probably wishful thinking for him to break out of this secret chamber and escape. Since I'm here, 111 take things as they are. Since the nomological laws here are the same as those in the heaven realm and the primordial realm, one can still cultivate. Moreover, the other party didn't kill me in this situation. If they do, it'll 11 be disadvantageous to their so-called sacred ancestor Bloodheart. At the thought of this, Lu Ming felt much more at ease. As long as he didn't die, he would have a chance. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and adjusted himself to his best condition. One hen. He began to comprehend the law of karma. Now, out of the 10 ultimate maxims, Lu Ming only had not successfully comprehended the law of karma and the law of fate. After Wuxia walked out of the secret room, he came to a large hall. In the hall, more than a dozen non-human experts were waiting. Great General, how is it? Did that kid agree to it? An old man asked. That kid is young, but he's extremely shrewd. I'm afraid he's already guessed a lot. He won't agree at all. He won't be swayed by force or persuasion. Myriad frowned. You won't be affected by force or persuasion. That brat is courting death. I'll go and kill him. A burly foreign being was furious, but he swallowed his words halfway and smiled awkwardly. If he killed Lu Ming, how would the sacred ancestor Bloodheart awaken? Great General, what should we do now? Someone asked. Imprison that kid here. Well, study him and see if we can find a way to extract the prison-suppressing steel from him. At the same time, send a message to the other royal families and ask them to think of a way. Wuxia said. All right, we can only do this. I don't believe that we can't remove a broken prison-suppressing steel. The other alien races nodded and left. Chapter 2409. 800 years have passed. Lu Ming stayed in the secret room and focused on cultivation. Usually, no one came to disturb him and it was quiet. Cultivation knew no time. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. Lu Ming's control over the law of karma was getting deeper and deeper. At that moment, Myriad came to look for Lu Ming for the first time. This time, he brought more than 10 people with him. They were all experts with extremely high cultivation. They used a special array in an attempt to extract the prison-suppressing steel from Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming did not resist, but he did not cooperate and let the other party cast it. Unfortunately, the other party still failed in the end and could not do anything to the prison-suppressing steel. Brat, are you going to cooperate or not? If you don't, it'll make you die without a burial place. A burly alien roared, his killing intent incomparably ferocious. If you want to kill, then kill, why waste your breath? Lu Ming said indifferently. You. The alien almost vomited blood in anger. If it were not for the Bloodheart Saint Ancestor, he would have slapped Lu Ming into a pulp. In the end, these foreign kinds had no choice but to leave. Lu Ming continued to cultivate. The effects of cultivating here were naturally not as good as on the Void Island. However, as time passed, Lu Ming's control over the various laws became deeper and deeper. In the blink of an eye, another 3 years had passed. Lu Ming had been locked up here for 5 years. In the past 5 years, apart from comprehending the laws, Lu Ming had been studying the divine abilities that were constructed from different laws. As for the seven gods' mysterious technique, Lu Ming would also take some time to cultivate it. However, without the help of a top-grade treasure, it would take a long time to practice the seven gods' mysterious technique. Lu Ming was not in a hurry. He would slowly polish it. As long as he cultivated to his limits, he would naturally break through. After 5 years, Lu Ming had finally cultivated the law of karma to the 3rd level. Then, Lu Ming began to comprehend the law of fate. The laws of fate were extremely difficult to comprehend unless one was born with a body of fate. Lu Ming spent a full year before he managed to gain a basic understanding of the law of fate. However, after getting started, every step was extremely difficult to improve. However, the law of fate was indeed very wondrous. It was said to be able to control the fate of all living beings. After Lu Ming had cultivated the law of fate to the beginner level and fused it with the other top 10 laws, he had a feeling that he seemed to have fused with this world. He could vaguely sense the existence of the heavenly Tao. Lu Ming was very intoxicated by this feeling. He was even more focused on cultivating. However, his comprehension of the law of fate was too slow. In the meantime, Lu Ming also comprehended some other king path laws. He comprehended several king paths and the laws of fate together. Naturally, Lu Ming's speed of comprehending the king path laws was shockingly fast. It would not take long for him to cultivate to the 3rd realm. As for the laws of fate, they were rising at a constant rate. Spring and autumn came, and time passed by quickly, year after year. In the beginning, the alien race would try to extract the prison defending monument every few years. However, after failing 5 to 6 times in a row, the alien race seemed to have lost their patience and locked Lu Ming up in a secret chamber. It had been a long time since they last came. Just like that, Lu Ming spent 100 years in the secret chamber. Yes, 100 years. Ever since Lu Ming embarked on the path of cultivation, he had only cultivated for a few decades before he was captured and brought to the other world. However, this time, he had been imprisoned for 100 years. To a martial emperor realm expert, 100 years' time was just like the snap of a finger. Lu Ming had been cultivating wholeheartedly for the past 100 years. He did not feel bored at all. In the past 100 years, Lu Ming's cultivation level had not increased. However, his control of the law had reached a shocking level. The laws of fate had also been cultivated to the 3rd level by him. In addition, he had mastered more than 70 king path laws. In total, Lu Ming had mastered a total of 81 types of king path laws and ultimate laws. Moreover, he had cultivated them to the 3rd realm. The moment these laws fused and exploded, their power was extremely powerful. Lu Ming felt that he could easily kill a 4-star great emperor, or even a 5-star great emperor, with the power of law alone, without using his physical strength. One had to know that he was only a true emperor. It was unbelievable that a true emperor could easily kill a great emperor. I wonder what level my combat power will reach once I break through to the great emperor realm? Lu Ming could not help but look forward to it. The others controlled an ultimate law in addition to 8 other king path laws. After breaking through to great emperor, they would control the strongest great Tao. As for him, he had mastered 10 supreme laws and 71 king path laws. Once he broke through to the great emperor realm, what kind of great path would he have? Now, I don't need to control more laws. My goal is to master all these laws and make them perfect. Then I can break through to the great emperor realm. Lu Ming pondered. The laws he controlled were simply too many. It was difficult to truly achieve a smooth integration, and it would take some time. For the past 100 years, his 7 gods mysterious technique was still at the middle of the 5th stage. However, his foundation was already extremely solid and he had reached his limit. He believed that he would be able to break through soon. As soon as he reached the late stage of the 5th level of the 7 gods mysterious art, he would be able to suppress other peak emperors with his physical strength alone. With the power of laws, great emperors were invincible. If he were to make a breakthrough in the later nomological systems, his strength would skyrocket to an unimaginable level. At the same time, a group of demonic humans was discussing something in a large hall. Among them was Myriad and a few others. However, among these people, Luojia's status was not the highest. There were a few people whose status was even higher than Luojia's, and they were all extremely terrifying existences. The matter that these people were discussing was about Lu Ming. It's already been 100 years, And that kid is still not cooperating? At the very top, there was a middle-aged man who was extremely handsome and wore a crown. This person was the king of a foreign race. My king, that brat knows that we don't dare to kill him, so he won't agree no matter what. Wuxia bowed and said, "MMH." The king nodded. He didn't agree because he still has hope. Hope for the heaven realm. He hopes that one day, someone from the heaven realm will come here to save him. Someone from the heaven realm came to save him. In his dreams, our race will flatten the heaven realm sooner or later. An alien expert said. However, our tribe hasn't raised the heaven realm yet. He naturally has hope. Now we can only make him feel despair. Only when he is in despair and we give him hope will he agree. The non-human king said. My king, what should we do? Myriad asked. Let him out and let him feel the strength of our clan. Let him clearly understand that the heaven realm is not our clan's opponent. Then he will naturally despair. Then, give him hope, find him a good body, let his soul possess it, and give him some benefits. Agree to some conditions, and he will naturally agree. The non-human king said, appearing very confident. The king is wise. I'll do it right away. Wuxia and the others bowed. Chapter 24:10 Outlander 10 Royal Families. At this point, the foreign tribes had no other choice. As for Lu Ming, he could not kill him, and he could not extract the prison-suppressing steel. He could only extract the prison-suppressing steel if Lu Ming was willing to cooperate. How could he make Lu Ming volunteer? That was to make Lu Ming feel despair and let him see the terrifying strength of the alien races. He wanted to let Lu Ming understand that the heaven realm was no match for the alien races and that the heaven realm was destined to be destroyed by them. Lu Ming could not change the outcome even if he did not agree. Then, he would give Lu Ming hope, a way out for him, resources, and his family. Only then would Lu Ming yield and agree to the alien race's conditions. Let him move freely in Arjia, but send an expert to follow him, in case he gets killed by others. The non-human king instructed. This was the evil god world, and if a human were to walk on the streets, he would really be killed. Yes. Myriad and the others bowed and accepted the order. All right, let's do that. The non-human king instructed before leaving. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when the door of the secret chamber opened again. Wuxia and an old man walked in. Here it comes again. In my opinion, you don't have to waste your time. You can't take away the prison-suppressing steel. Lu Ming sneered. I'm not here today to take away the prison-suppressing steel. I'm here to let you out. Wuxia said. Let me out. Lu Ming was stunned. He was quite surprised. He didn't expect that the other party would let him out. That's right, you can go to my realm, but you can only stay in my realm. If you want to go back to the heaven realm, stop daydreaming. Let's go. After saying that, Wuxia turned around and left. What are these alien races up to? Lu Ming was very puzzled. However, it was better to leave this place than stay in this secret chamber for the rest of his life. There was nothing to think about. Lu Ming followed Myriad and left. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he walked out of the secret room and came to a platform. Because the scenery that entered his eyes was truly magnificent. This secret room should be located at an extremely high position. From where they stood, they were high up in the clouds and had a wide field of view, allowing them to see into the distance. What came into view was a large number of buildings. These buildings were very strange, completely different from the buildings in the heaven realm. They looked more barbaric, more majestic, and very magnificent. Such buildings were endless and could not be forgotten. There was a huge city here, even bigger than the ancient city in the heaven realm. In the city, there were people constantly flashing. All of them were alien races. There were black-scaled alien races with burly bodies, purple-scaled alien races, four-armed alien races with short bodies, and also alien races that looked like shadows. There were too many. These alien races did not conceal their auras. One after another, terrifying auras soared into the sky. Lu Ming could clearly sense them. So many experts. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. With just a casual sense, Lu Ming realized that there were a shocking number of experts among these alien races. A large group of them were all at the martial emperor realm. There were also a large number of true emperors. There were even many great emperors. There were too many powerhouses. This is the royal city of my tribe, Myriad explained. The capital? No wonder. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The capital was usually a place where experts gathered. It was normal for there to be many experts. However, this is only one of the royal cities of my race. Myriad then added. One of the royal families? What do you mean? Lu Ming asked instinctively. There are a total of 10 royal clans in the evil god tribe. Naturally, we have 10 royal cities. This is one of the royal cities of our tribe. I might as well tell you that only 3 of the 10 royal clans have been attacking the heaven realm all these years. That's not all. Wuxia said. What? This time, Lu Ming was really shocked. There were actually 10 royal clans in the alien race, and only 3 of them had attacked the heaven realm in the past few years. This meant that there were 7 other royal families that hadn't attacked the alien races. The 3 royal families attacking the heaven realm had already forced the heaven realm into a disadvantageous position. If the 10 royal families all attacked the heaven realm, wouldn't the heaven realm be unable to resist? This was beyond Lu Ming's expectations. At this moment, he was really anxious. Seeing Lu Ming's expression, Myriad smiled. This was what he wanted to see. Shock, despair. Now you know the strength of my clan. If the heaven realm wants to fight with my clan, it's like an egg hitting a stone. Wuxia laughed coldly. How could this be? No, the heaven realm must still have some hidden power. Otherwise, it would have been destroyed by the alien races. Yes, it's definitely not that simple. There must be some hidden story. Otherwise, the alien races wouldn't have dragged on for so many years without destroying the heaven realm. Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind as he tried to calm himself down. A moment later, Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief and his eyes calmed down. This kid? Wuxia was shocked. Lu Ming's mental fortitude was beyond his expectations. He calmed down so quickly after hearing that the alien race was so powerful. Let's see how you're going to remain calm when you see the true strength of my clan. Wuxia snorted in his heart and ordered. Jai, from now on, he will follow him. Do you understand? Yes, great general. The old man beside Myriad bowed. Buzz. Myriad took a step forward and disappeared. Since we're already here, let's take a good look around. If we can learn more about the secrets of the alien races, it will be helpful when we return to the heaven realm in the future. At the thought of this, Lu Ming leaped off the platform and flew down. Jai was not far behind Lu Ming. After jumping off the platform, Lu Ming walked toward a street. The alien race's buildings were ancient and tall. Each building was hundreds of meters tall and the streets were wide. Lu Ming swaggered around the streets. On the other hand, the alien races on the street were stunned. Their eyes widened to the size of copper bells as they stared at Lu Ming. This person isn't from my clan? He looks like a human. Yes, a human. A human actually dares to stroll around our king city. What's going on? The non-humans on the streets were all discussing. Furthermore, this piece of news spread like a whirlwind. In a short while, this area was surrounded by all kinds of alien races. Hey, move aside, move aside. You're blocking the way. Do you have any manners? Lu Ming was very arrogant. He berated her directly. Nest, this human is so arrogant. A human dares to berate us in our king city. He's courting death. A short-tempered non-human kind being shouted, showing his cold-killing intent. However, at the sight of Jai who was following Lu Ming, they shivered in fear. Jai's aura was too terrifying. Chapter 24:11. Meeting Emotion Luo again. It was obvious that Jia Yi was an extremely terrifying existence among the alien races. Because of Jia Yi's presence, no one dared to attack Lu Ming. However, many of the alien races were very curious about Lu Ming's background. How could a human swagger into a capital city of the alien race with an expert following him? Move! Lu Ming shouted and continued to stroll around. However, more and more alien races gathered around him, and there was no lack of heavenly emperor-level existences. Kid, it's you. Suddenly, a voice filled with disbelief was heard. In front, the crowd made way for a group of people. The one in the lead had purple hair that danced in the wind. He was a member of a foreign royal family and was very young. It's him, the prince of the foreign tribe. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Back in the Two-World City, when the foreign races attacked the city, they sent their younger generation to challenge the Heaven Realm in an attempt to demoralize the Heaven Realm. At that time, there was a powerful alien prince. Unfortunately, Lu Ming captured him and exchanged him for 2 chaos gems. The man in front of him was the prince, Mo Tianluo. Behind Mo Tianluo, there were a few other figures. Some were from the royal alien races, while others were from other races. All of them had powerful auras. Greetings, 8th Prince. All around, many of the foreign races bowed in respect. There were many different races in the alien race, and all of them had the same bloodline. However, the royal family of the alien race was the race with the closest bloodline to their ancestor. Therefore, the royal family had the highest status among the many races. As for Mo Tianluo, as a prince, he was a king among kings. His status was much higher than that of ordinary royal families. The normal alien races would naturally be respectful. Mo Tianluo did not care about the others. His eyes were fixed on Lu Ming. Kid, why are you here? Mo Tianluo 1's face was gloomy as he asked in a cold voice. Why am I here? You should ask your ancestors this question. Do you think I want to stay here? Lu Ming pursed his lips. Kid, mind your words. Mo Tianluo scolded and then looked at Jia Yi. Senior, could it be that you're here to ensure his safety? Mo Tianluo asked. Yes. Jia Yi nodded. I'll only protect his life. I won't care about any injuries. Oh. Mo Tianluo's eyes lit up. Even though he was curious as to why Jia Yi would protect a human's life, he only protected his life and didn't care about anything else, so it was easy to handle. He wanted Lu Ming to suffer a fate worse than death. Mo Tianluo's eyes flashed with a cold light. Back then, he was taken hostage by Lu Ming in exchange for 100 chaos gems. He had been brooding over this and had been looking for an opportunity to take revenge. Who would have thought that the opportunity would be presented right in front of him? How could he let it go? Bang! Mo Tianluo stepped forward. His purple hair was flying in the wind, and his body was covered in a purple light. As the third eye on his forehead opened, a cold light flashed. Kid, come out and fight. Mo Tianluo said in a cold voice. Many people in the surroundings became excited. Mo Tianluo was one of the top geniuses of the evil god tribe. Back then, he was ranked 9th among the younger generation of the evil god world. In the vast evil god tribe, Mo Tianluo was ranked 9th, which showed his talent. Although Mo Tianluo could no longer be considered a member of the younger generation at his current age, he was still a young man. The 8th prince is about to make his move. It seems that this human has a grudge with the 8th prince. Haha, how many moves do you think the 8th prince can take him down? No more than 10 moves. It might be an instant kill. You must know that the 8th prince now has the battle strength of a rank 18 true emperor. The surrounding alien races were all discussing. A level 18 true emperor? The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly, with a faint disdain. I'd better find someone stronger. You're not my match. Lu Ming said indifferently. His words made the cold light in Mo Tianluo's eyes shine even more. Brat, you're talking big. I'd like to see how much you've improved over the years. With that, Mo Tianluo took a step forward. His body was like a purple stream of light as he rushed toward Lu Ming. Boom! Mo Tianluo struck out with his palm. Purple light filled his palm and turned into a terrifying palm print, blasting toward Lu Ming. The alien races cultivated a system that was very similar to the Heaven Realm's ancient system. Their actions might seem simple, but their every move was extremely powerful. Peak True Emperor, Rank 18 True Emperor. The corners of Lu Ming's mouth twitched slightly. 4 martial sovereigns, each seclusion could last for thousands or tens of thousands of years. Mo Tianluo's speed of advancing from a stage 9 True Emperor to a stage 18 True Emperor in just over 100 years was already very fast and shocking. Unfortunately, he had encountered Lu Ming. Lu Ming could not be measured by common sense. Lu Ming did not use his physical strength. His body glowed with a radiance of various laws. In an instant, there were more than 10 kinds of radiances on his body that were intertwined. Whoosh! Lu Ming simply pointed his finger. With the augmentation of more than 10 types of laws, Lu Ming's simple finger attack became extremely powerful. Lu Ming's fingers were like long spears, piercing Emo Tianluo's palm. There was no earth-shattering sound, nor was there any scene of wanton force. The collision between the two was very quiet. It was as if a needle had pierced a balloon. With a poof, blood splattered everywhere. Emo Tianluo's palm print and his palm were directly pierced by Lu Ming's finger. The destructive force surged toward Emo Tianluo. Emo Tianluo let out a blood-curdling screech as his body flew backward and crashed heavily onto the ground. His body twitched and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The entire place was silent. Emo Tianluo, the prince of the alien race, was actually defeated by Lu Ming in one move. He was killed in seconds. How was this possible? More than 100 years ago, Emo Tianluo was ranked 9th among the younger generation in the entire evil god world. He was extremely talented. Although he was no longer in the younger generation, his combat strength had undoubtedly become stronger. However, he was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. This made everyone stunned, as if they found it difficult to accept. How is that possible? Emo Tianluo couldn't accept it and roared in his heart. All these years, he had been working hard and his cultivation had improved very quickly. He was already at the peak of the True Emperor realm and had the battle power of a rank 18 True Emperor. He would be able to break through to the Great Emperor realm soon. He was confident that he could reach the Great Emperor realm before he was 200 years old. Great emperors who were younger than 1,000 years old were already very impressive, let alone great emperors who were younger than 200 years old. He was already stunning enough, but he was still killed by Lu Ming in one move. Back then, he had fought many rounds with Lu Ming before Lu Ming defeated him. Initially, he thought that he was strong enough to defeat Lu Ming and take revenge. He never expected this to be the result. Could it be that Lu Ming had already broken through to the Great Emperor realm? Many people couldn't help but think so. Only a great emperor could defeat Emo Tianluo so easily, right? However, Lu Ming's aura was clearly only at the True Emperor realm. This puzzled many people. Chapter 24:11, Longevity Roll. Kid, you're quite strong. Let me fight you. Just as everyone was speculating, a voice was heard. Then the crowd saw a burly figure step out. This figure was more than 2 meters tall and was covered in purple scales. He had come with Emo Tianluo. Boudoir, it's Buduo. Bu Duo is about to make his move. Alt-Ha Buduo's talent is not as high as the 8th prince's, and he has been cultivating for 1,000 years. He has already broken through to the Great Emperor realm not long ago. He should be able to suppress that kid. Many people were excited to see this figure. Buduo, don't show mercy. Attack with all your strength. Kill him. I'll take responsibility if anything happens. Emo Tianluo roared, his face incomparably malevolent. He could not wait to cut Lu Ming into 8 pieces. Buduo's body was tall and sturdy, and his 3 eyes flickered with cold light. He took a step forward, and the ground trembled. A pitch-black iron rod appeared in his hand. With a slight shake of the iron rod, a pitch-black hole appeared in the space. It was extremely horrifying. On the side, many people retreated. A great emperor's attack was no small matter. Some of the weaker cultivators didn't want to be involved. Lu Ming looked at Bu Duo with a calm expression. A 1-star great emperor, he really did not take it to heart. Make your move, Lu Ming said calmly. Brat, die. Bu Duo's eyes revealed a trace of ferocity. He exploded with all his strength and leaped. Then, he looked down from high above and smashed his staff at Lu Ming with the force of Mount Tai. The power of this rod was shocking. If it was a true emperor, he would definitely not be able to block it and would be smashed into meat paste. At the side, Jia Yi's eyes flickered but he did not make a move. Lu Ming had the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. He would not die so easily. Boom, boom, boom. The metal rod struck down with a dull thud. In an instant, it was close to Lu Ming's head. Just when everyone thought that Lu Ming's head was going to explode, Lu Ming stretched out his hand and grabbed. Bang! There was a dull roar. The black metal rod was caught by Lu Ming. Then, the metal rod was fixed in the air, not moving at all. Buduo was the same. He held the iron rod in his hands and was also frozen in the air. The seemingly powerful stick attack was blocked by Lu Ming with one hand. "So this is your strength, it's just a..." Lu Ming said calmly. He exerted force in his palm and shook it suddenly. Buzz! The iron rod trembled violently, and a terrifying force followed the iron rod and blasted toward Bu Duo. Bu Duo let out a blood-curdling screech, and his body flew out like a cannonball, following in Mo Tianluo's footsteps. He crashed heavily onto the ground and spat out a large mouthful of blood. The scene fell into dead silence again. One move. Another move. Budwa, who had already reached the great emperor realm, was defeated. He could not fight back at all in the hands of Lu Ming. How could Lu Ming be so powerful? Was this the strength of the human race? The human race was actually this strong? Many people from the foreign races were shocked. In their minds, the human race and the divine beasts of the heaven realm couldn't even withstand a single blow. Their evil god race was the supreme existence. But now, a human youth had defeated several of their experts in a row. This person looks young, but he might have already cultivated for countless years. That's why he's so strong. That's right, it must be like this. Following that, many other alien races spoke up and thought that Lu Ming was an old monster. It was normal for an old monster who had cultivated for countless years to have such strength. You really know how to deceive yourself. Lu Ming sneered, his face filled with disdain. What did you just say? Haven't you been cultivating for many years? Then tell me, how many years have you been cultivating until now? Someone asked loudly. All right, I'll tell you then. I, Lu Ming, have cultivated for less than 200 years. Lu Ming's voice was heard by everyone. What? Less than 200 years, how is that possible? He defeated the great Emperor Bu Duo in less than 200 years. Impossible. How could the human race have such a powerful heaven's favorite? He must be lying to deliberately attack us. Many of the alien races roared in disbelief. In less than 200 years, there were only a few in the entire evil god tribe who could defeat Bu Duo, who had reached the one-star great emperor realm. That's why I said you're lying to yourself. I believe you have a way to determine the age. If you don't believe me, then find someone to do it. Lu Ming said. The alien fell silent. Seeing how confident Lu Ming was, he did not seem to be lying. He had probably cultivated for less than 200 years. The human race actually had such a heaven's favorite. Is there anyone else who wants to come out and fight? Today, I'd like to see what kind of tricks your clan has. Lu Ming's voice could be heard from afar. There was silence at the scene. Everyone looked at each other, but for a moment, no one made a move. Lu Ming had cultivated for less than 200 years. There were only a few people in the entire evil god realm who could fight with Lu Ming at this age. There was not a single one present. As for those who had cultivated for tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, or even longer, it would be a little embarrassing for them to come out and fight Lu Ming. Hee. Aren't there many experts in the evil god tribe? To think that there's actually no one who can fight me. All right, I'll give you all a chance. Anyone who has cultivated for less than 10,000 years can come and fight me. I'll accept all of you. Lu Ming said loudly. Lu Ming, you said it yourself. Don't 11 go back on your word. Mo Tianluo shouted. Of course. Lu Ming responded. Good. My clan has a longevity roll. On it are 100 top experts who have cultivated for less than 10,000 years. Any one of them can crush you. Just you wait. I'll go find them now. Mo Tianluo teased. He must teach Lu Ming a lesson today. The longevity roll. 100 experts who have cultivated for less than 10,000 years. Interesting. Go and find them. Find a few more. I'll wait here. Lu Ming said with a relaxed expression. Not only was he not nervous, but he was also looking forward to it. For the martial emperor realm, if one had cultivated for less than 10,000 years, it could be said to be a golden period. It was the time for one's cultivation to explode. It also represented the future. The concept was similar to that of the prodigies of the younger generation. Lu Ming also wanted to see how strong the strongest group of experts in the evil god tribe who had cultivated for less than 10,000 years were. Lu Ming crossed his arms and waited quietly. More and more foreign races gathered around. How many years had it been since a human had challenged them in their capital? They also wanted to see what kind of strength this human, who had cultivated for less than 200 years, had. A few figures stood in the sky, but no one noticed them. These people were the king of the outsiders, General Wuxia, and a few other powerful beings. As expected of the person chosen by the saint ancestor Bloodheart. He's extraordinary, the non-human king said. Previously, they did not know that Lu Ming had such powerful abilities. Chapter 24:13, Another. The king of the alien race, Wuxia, and the others had no idea that Lu Ming was so powerful. Back then, at the entrance of the passage in the heaven realm, Lu Ming had burst out with shocking strength and killed many alien races. However, at that time, Lu Ming had borrowed the power of his third bloodline. The king of the non-human race and the others thought that Lu Ming was so powerful because of the power of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. They did not know how strong Lu Ming was himself. At this moment, they were a little surprised to see Lu Ming displaying his abilities. This kid has extraordinary talent. I'm afraid it won't be easy to subdue him and make him despair. That's right. This kind of person is definitely an overwhelming prodigy in the heaven realm. This kind of person is usually arrogant, supercilious, and extremely confident. It's difficult to make such a person submit to despair. The other powerhouses also chimed in. This was indeed beyond their expectations. Their original plan was that if Lu Ming was just an ordinary prodigy, he would definitely be taught a lesson when he walked the evil god realm. By then, a few powerful paragons would be able to suppress Lu Ming. In that case, Lu Ming would easily give in and give in. However, Lu Ming was a rare genius. It would not be easy to make such a person despair. If it really doesn't work out, then I'll take him to the holy mountain. The non-human king said. Great, the king is wise. Countless experts of our world have gathered on the holy mountain, including some of the top-ranked figures on the longevity roll. I believe he'll give in to the countless experts. Not bad. Moroga and the others all smiled. At the mention of the holy mountain, their eyes flashed with respect. Time passed quickly. After 2 hours, a few rays of light broke through the sky from the distance. The next moment, a few figures appeared in the sky. One of them was Motion Luo. There were 2 other people. One of them was also a non-human king, but he had a head of short purple hair. He looked very energetic and young. The other person was a shadow-like alien. He didn't seem to have a physical body. He stood there, but his body was swaying like water. It's Storm and Moping. I didn't expect Storm and Mo Ping to be in the capital. Mo Ping is ranked 98th on the longevity roll. Storm is ranked 76th. Ha ha ha, let's see how arrogant that human brat can be this time. Excited discussions could be heard from the surroundings. It was obvious that they were very confident in the so-called Storm and Mo Ping. From the discussions of the people around him, Lu Ming knew that the royal with inch-long hair was called Mo Ping. That shadow-like alien race was called Storm, and they were both top experts on the evil god world's longevity roll. This is the kid who wants to challenge everyone on the longevity roll? He's really arrogant. Mo Ping coldly spoke, his eyes flashing with sharpness. Then let's cripple him and make him lie on the ground like a dog. Hee hee hee. Hee hee. Bao Feng laughed in an ear-piercing voice. His shadow-like body swayed. You first or should I go first? Mo Ping asked Storm. You do it. In my opinion you are enough. The ear-piercing sound of the storm rang out again. All right, then I'll take on this kid. Mo Ping stepped forward, and a violent aura emanated from his body. 3-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Mo Ping had cultivated for less than 10,000 years, but he was already a 3-star Great Emperor. And he was only ranked 98th on the longevity roll. Could it be that the 100 people on the longevity roll are all 3-star Great Emperors or above? At this moment, Lu Ming's heart felt heavy. In less than 10,000 years of cultivation, 100 of them had reached the level of 3-star Great Emperor. This was absolutely shocking. There was almost no problem for these people to become heavenly emperors in the future. They could even become peerless powerhouses. The alien races were indeed powerful. No wonder the heaven realm had been defeated in the ancient war and could only guard the Tai Ching heavenly region. No, I can't be discouraged. No matter how many powerhouses and prodigies the Outlanders have, I'll suppress them all in the future. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a bright light and a strong fighting spirit. I'm invincible. This was Lu Ming's belief and his confidence in himself. No matter how many heaven's favorites or powerhouses you have, I will suppress them all. Kill! Mo Ping shouted coldly. The third eye between his brows emitted a brilliant light. Then, combat swords flew out of his eye. There was a total of 18 combat swords. They formed a strange pattern and slashed violently at Lu Ming. What a unique attack! Lu Ming's heart stirred. His opponent had used the destructive light from his third eye to form a sword and then formed a wonderful sword formation. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 18 combat swords formed a magical sword formation. Its power increased exponentially, bursting forth with endless sword chi that enveloped Lu Ming. Buzz! Lu Ming's muscles trembled rapidly as he unleashed the 6-feathered divine wings. Lu Ming now controlled too many laws. He had a total of 81 types and 71 types of king path laws. The 6 types of laws required for the 6-feathered wings were all contained within. Not only the 6-feathered divine wings, but the 18 types of nomological laws of the indestructible ancient scroll were also contained in it. This caused the power of Lu Ming's indestructible ancient scroll to increase explosively. Buzz! Whoosh! Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast. He dodged continuously, avoiding the sword chi attacks. None of the sword aura could hit Lu Ming. Your movement technique is quite fast. Let's see how you dodge it. Mo Ping said coldly. The light in his third eye grew brighter, and the 18 swords became even faster. At the same time, he took a step forward and charged at Lu Ming, throwing a palm strike. Boom! A vortex appeared in his palm, and it exuded a shocking power. This force spun wildly, bringing with it a shocking tearing force. It wanted to envelop Lu Ming and tear him into pieces. This power could greatly enhance one's speed and movement technique. When combined with the sword formation formed by the 18 combat swords, it was simply invincible. Lose! Mo Ping coldly shouted, extremely confident. He had been able to rank 98th on the longevity roll and defeat 2 other experts whose cultivation levels were not any lower than his because of this move. I'm too lazy to play with you. At this moment, Lu Ming's indifferent voice was heard. Then, Lu Ming struck 19 palms in a row. 18 of the palms landed on the 18 combat swords, and the other palm struck Mo Ping's palm. Bang! 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 Lu Ming's strength was so shocking that the 18 combat swords exploded when he slapped them. When Lu Ming's palm collided with Mo Ping's palm, Mo Ping's body trembled as if he had been electrocuted. His eyeballs almost popped out. Kacha! The sound of bones breaking rang out. Mo Ping let out a blood-curdling scream as his body was sent flying. Just like Mo Tianluo and Bu Duo, he crashed heavily onto the ground. Chapter 24:14. Deeply shocked. As Mo Ping landed on the ground, everyone's heart jumped. He was defeated. Mo Ping was also defeated. He seemed to be unable to withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. This was a peerless expert on the longevity roll, a 3-star great emperor, yet he was easily defeated. Lu Ming, did this human really only cultivate for less than 200 years? Mo Tianluo's face turned pale. Even Mo Ping was not Lu Ming's match. How was this possible? More than 100 years ago, he had exchanged blows with Lu Ming. At that time, Lu Ming was only slightly stronger than him. However now, Lu Ming was so much stronger than him. He felt that he had suffered a huge blow and his state of mind was somewhat unstable. Interesting, interesting. At this moment, the piercing sound of the storm was heard again. Its 3 eyes flickered as it sized Lu Ming up. Your physical strength is very strong. It seems that you mainly cultivate your physical body. Stormwind said. His body seemed to be weightless as he floated out. You'll know when you try. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Of course I want to try. Feng Feng suddenly moved. His body trembled and he disappeared. Then, he suddenly appeared behind Lu Ming. A long and thin sword appeared in his hand and he stabbed Lu Ming's back. However, it was as if Lu Ming had eyes in the back of his head. He struck out with his palm. However, Storm's figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. The next moment, 8 figures suddenly appeared around Lu Ming. The 8 figures were like a storm. He rushed towards Lu Ming, his attacks constantly erupting. All 8 of them are true bodies. Interesting. Lu Ming was very surprised. What the other party had displayed were not doppelgangers, illusions, or illusions to confuse people, but 8 real bodies. The 8 true forms had the same cultivation and were extremely powerful. In an instant, Lu Ming struck out 8 palms in a row, blasting 8 figures. Boom! Boom! With 8 loud bangs, the 8 figures of the storm were pushed back by Lu Ming. He's also a 3-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The other party was also a 3-star Great Emperor, but he had already reached the limit of 3-star Great Emperor. His attacks were extremely strange and unpredictable, and he was indeed stronger than Mo Ping. Again! The storm's 8 figures retreated and swayed again. This time, each of them was split into 2. The 8 figures turned into 16 and attacked Lu Ming. The 16 figures were all true bodies, and their strength was exactly the same. Their strength had not weakened because they had split apart. It's useless no matter how much we split, Lu Ming said coldly. He changed his palm into a fist and punched continuously. Boom! Boom! The terrifying fist force crushed the void and destroyed everything in its path. The storm let out a sharp shriek and retreated frantically. However, it was too late. It was crushed by Lu Ming's fist force and the 18 figures exploded one after another. Everyone was shocked. Could Storm have been killed by Lu Ming? A peerless expert on the longevity roll had fallen? However, at this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. He realized that his own shadow had suddenly moved. He did not move, but his shadow moved. It was like a sharp sword, stabbing toward Lu Ming. This scene happened so quickly that Lu Ming did not even have time to react. The sword pierced Lu Ming's body accurately, but it did not penetrate his body. Lu Ming's defensive power was astonishing. In addition, he had activated the indestructible golden body just now. That terrifying defensive power was not something a 3-star Great Emperor could break. You! Lu Ming's shadow twisted rapidly, seemingly filled with shock. Get lost! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted loudly like a thunderclap and stepped on his own shadow. Lu Ming activated many types of laws in this kick. Although the other party's body was strange, it was still restrained by Lu Ming's laws. Boom! The power of this kick was extremely shocking. The ground shook and cracks appeared on the extremely hard floor. A scream was heard and Lu Ming's shadow returned to normal. Storm's figure appeared in the distance. There were cracks on its body and it almost exploded. Naturally, Lu Ming had already shown mercy. Otherwise, the other party would have been dead. A 3-star Great Emperor, no matter how many tricks he had, Lu Ming could still kill him easily if he used his full strength. Can't even withstand a single blow, Lu Ming said coldly. Damn it, how is this possible? On the side, many of the foreign races roared. They found it hard to accept. The longevity rolls experts had defeated 2 people in a row, and one of them was ranked 76th. The human race actually had such a powerful heaven's favorite, and he had cultivated for less than 200 years. Luckily he was caught. This was the evil god world. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. Many alien races consoled themselves like this. I didn't expect this person to be so strong. In the sky, the king of the alien race, Wuxia, and the others were also surprised. Lu Ming's strength had completely exceeded their expectations. It's a good thing that he was chosen by the Blood Heart Saint ancestor. Otherwise, he would be a disaster for our clan once he grows up. Wuxia said. Not bad. The others nodded in agreement. Let him go to the holy mountain. The non-human king spoke. Things were out of his expectations. Initially, he wanted the alien race to attack Lu Ming and let him experience the powerhouses of the alien race. He wanted to make Lu Ming despair and yield. However, he didn't expect that it was the foreign tribes that were suffering a blow. Lu Ming displayed his might and defeated many powerhouses from the alien races in a row, dealing a heavy blow to many alien races. This made Lu Ming even more confident. This was not what they wanted to see. Yes. Muroga nodded, and then a voice was transmitted. His voice resounded in Motianluo, Mo Ping and Storm's ears. Let him go to the holy mountain. The eyes of Motianluo and the others lit up. That's right. Let Lu Ming go to the Holy Mountain. There are countless experts there, and there are plenty of people to deal with Lu Ming. Lu Ming, don't be so arrogant. Our tribe has 10 royal famflies and 10 royal cities. This is just one of the 10 royal cities. Besides, most of the powerhouses in our tribe are cultivating in seclusion on the Holy Mountain. If you have the ability, go to the Holy Mountain. Mo Tianluo shouted. That's right. If you have the ability, go to the Holy Mountain and I'll let you see the strength of my tribe. At that time you'll understand what a strong person is. Mo Ping also called out. That's right, if you have the ability, go to the Holy Mountain. On the side, the other alien races also started to shout. Holy Mountain? Lead the way. Lu Ming said directly. From the looks of it, the Holy Mountain had a very high status in the hearts of the Outlanders. It was an important place for the Outlanders, as it had gathered a large number of experts. Lu Ming could go and take a look. He wanted to see how many experts the alien races had. If he could escape in the future, he would be more prepared. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Chapter 2415 Sacred Mountains Terrifying Strength, Lu Ming. We're going to the Holy Mountain. Follow me. Mo Tianluo said, then turned around and flew in a direction. Lu Ming did not say anything and followed him. As for Jari, he kept quiet and followed not far from Lu Ming. As long as Lu Ming's life was not in danger, he would not take action. Let's go, I'll go and take a look too. Just in time, I want to go too. The surrounding alien races were all very curious. They wanted to see what kind of storm Lu Ming would stir up when he arrived at the Holy Mountain. After all, some of the top experts on the longevity roll were in the Holy Mountain. Lu Ming would definitely have to fight with those existences on the Holy Mountain. They did not believe that Lu Ming could keep winning. Immediately, the large group of people followed behind Lu Ming and flew forward. Soon, they flew out of the capital and headed west. The Holy City was to the west of the Imperial City, and was also the center of the entire evil god world. Mo Tianluo led the way at a steady pace. Lu Ming was not in a hurry either. In the end, he took out a puppet and sat on it. He let the puppet travel while he focused on comprehending the various laws. He wanted to achieve perfection in all the laws as soon as possible and enter the Great Emperor realm. Mo Ping and Feng Feng turned into two streams of light and flew to the west, disappearing from everyone's sight. It was likely that they had arrived at the Holy Mountain in advance to make preparations. Just like that, after flying for a month, they arrived at a plain. The demonic sky net slowed down even more when they arrived. Lu Ming noticed that all the members of the alien race had a solemn look on their faces. There was also respect and reverence, or even a kind of piety. After flying for a while, a huge mountain appeared in front of them. It was a huge mountain, and it truly reflected the meaning of the word huge. It was an incomparably towering and massive mountain. There was no vegetation on this mountain, but even from far away, one could feel the magnificence of this mountain. The mountain was so high that it reached into the depths of the sky. As they slowly got closer, they realized that the area it occupied was even larger. Lu Ming had never seen such a huge mountain peak. When he got closer, Lu Ming realized that there were a shocking number of alien races at the foot of the mountain. At a glance, countless non-humans were sitting cross-legged on the Holy Mountain, as if they were cultivating. There was a wide mountain road that led from the foot of the Holy Mountain to the top. On the mountain paths were numerous outsiders who were slowly making their way up. When they reached a certain height, they would land on some rocks, or find a random spot to sit down cross-legged and cultivate. The entire Holy Mountain was filled with people. The number of non-humans was shocking. Lu Ming took a casual glance and discovered millions of alien races. This was only a corner of the Holy Mountain. There were countless alien races on the Holy Mountain. The most shocking thing was that these foreign kinds were all experts. The worst was at the Saint Realm. The Martial Emperor realm was above that. Lu Ming saw at least 100,000 martial emperors and more than 10,000 true emperors among the 1 million alien races. There were so many experts in a corner. How many experts were there in the entire Holy Mountain? Terrifying. It was truly terrifying. Lu Ming's expression changed and he became extremely solemn. Seeing that Lu Ming's expression had changed, Mo Tianluo looked pleased. He flew over and said, Lu Ming, let me tell you. The Holy Mountain is the residence of our race's holy ancestor. He lives at the highest point. Your race's divine ancestor is in this holy mountain? Lu Ming could not help asking. Of course. The divine ancestor of our tribe lives at the peak of the holy mountain, so the entire holy mountain is the best holy land for cultivation for our tribe. When we cultivate on the holy mountain, we will be influenced by the aura of the divine ancestor. Over time, not only can you improve your cultivation, but you can also purify your bloodline, making yourself closer to the divine ancestor and making your bloodline purer. Mo Tianluo said proudly. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. So that was the case. No wonder there were so many powerful people gathered on the holy mountain. The divine ancestor of the non-human race was an unimaginable existence. He was probably an existence that surpassed the celestial emperor. In that case, what was the relationship between the sacred ancestor Bloodheart and the non-human sacred ancestor? Lu Ming had more doubts in his heart. Let me tell you, there are many caves on the holy mountain. Many people in my tribe have turned into ascetics and have been cultivating in those caves for countless years. I don't know how many of them there are. Also, the higher you go, the higher your cultivation level will be. Near the top of the mountain, there are a large number of celestial emperors cultivating. The number is beyond your imagination. Now you know the strength of our tribe. Only a small part of our tribe is attacking the Tai Ching heavenly region. If we send out a large army, the Tai Ching heavenly region will be turned into dust in an instant. Mo Tianluo said proudly. Lu Ming was indeed very shocked. The number of non-human experts on this Saint Mountain was indeed terrifying. It was beyond his expectations. From a distance, one could sense the terrifying auras on the entire sacred mountain. Although these auras were very obscure, Lu Ming had cultivated 81 types of laws, and it was as if he was about to merge with the heaven and earth. His perception was also astonishingly strong, so he could sense them clearly. Those auras and waves of shocking pressure were all heavenly emperor-level existences. The number of them made Lu Ming apprehensive. The entire holy mountain was like a terrifying weapon of a martial emperor. It gave off a terrifying pressure. It was as if he would be crushed into dust at any moment. Mo Tianluo was right. The forces that the foreign races had gathered outside the two-world city could not compare to this holy mountain. If all the powerful beings on this mountain moved together, the Tai Ching heavenly region would be turned into dust in an instant. That's impossible. It can't be. If that's the case, the alien races would have already broken through the two-world city and the Tai Ching heavenly region. They wouldn't have waited until now. Maybe there's a hidden power in the heaven realm that I haven't seen yet. Also, there might be other reasons. If it could be destroyed, the heaven realm would have been destroyed by the alien races long ago. Lu Ming's mind whirred and he instantly thought of many things. He told himself to relax and his mood finally improved. Mo Tianluo sneered and walked toward the holy mountain. When they were close to the holy mountain, a few beams of light flew out of the holy mountain. Two of them were Storm and Mo Ping. Other than them, there were three other young men. Of course, even though he looked young, he was definitely not young. It's the three people on the longevity roll. They're 65th, 59th, and 43rd. Someone on the side recognized the three people. As expected, most of the top experts on the longevity roll are on the holy mountain. Three of them came all at once. It's enough to take care of Lu Ming and let him know the power of our race. Not bad. Seeing the three young men, many of the demonic humans were excited. They had been following him for a long time just to see Lu Ming being beaten up. He's the human who defeated you? One of the young men stepped forward and looked at Lu Ming coldly. His eyes were extremely sharp. He doesn't look like much. I can easily defeat him. Another young man spoke. His voice filled with confidence. Chapter 24:16. No one else? These three people were ranked 65th, 59th, and 43rd on the longevity roll, respectively. They could be said to be extremely powerful, far above Storm and Mo Ping. He was definitely a 3-star Great Emperor or higher, or even a 4-star Great Emperor. Of course, they had been cultivating for a long time. At least, they had been cultivating for a few thousand years, much longer than Lu Ming. The three of them were very confident. They stepped forward and surrounded Lu Ming. The people around them retreated, giving them enough distance to fight. You guys. Let's attack together. 11 Lu Ming's eyes swept across the three of them as his indifferent voice rang out. What? Everyone was stunned. Lu Ming wanted to fight 1 against 3. He wanted to challenge 3 people alone? How arrogant. What an arrogant human brat. This is the first time I've seen such an arrogant human. One of the 3 young men licked his lips, his eyes cold. He wants to challenge all 3 of us at the same time. Who does he think he is? What do you mean? Of course he'll agree to it. I'll beat him up until he can't take care of himself. The 3 longevity role experts sneered, their eyes growing more and more sinister. Since Lu Ming was asking for it, they naturally had to fulfill his wish. The 3 young men moved and surrounded Lu Ming. Almost at the same time, they made their moves. 3 different attacks were launched at Lu Ming with shocking power. The moment the 3 of them attacked, Lu Ming could tell their abilities. 2 4-star Great Emperors and 1 peak 3-star Great Emperor. Under normal circumstances, such a lineup would not have any problems dealing with someone who had cultivated for less than 200 years. However, they had encountered Lu Ming and that was a problem. Buzz! Lu Ming's muscles trembled and his body shot out like a cannonball towards one of the people. Buzz! Lu Ming reached out with his large hand and the other party's attack was immediately destroyed. Then his claw did not stop. In an instant, he grabbed the other party's throat. Hurry up! It was too fast. Lu Ming's palm was unbelievably fast. Before the other party could react, Lu Ming had already grabbed his neck. Then with a powerful swing, the other party was like a meteorite, crashing towards the ground. Boom! The ground trembled and the other party screamed in pain. Who knew how many bones in his body were broken, and he was truly unable to take care of himself. However, the ground here was extremely firm, and only a shallow pit was formed when the other party crashed into the ground. At this moment, the other 2 people's attacks were about to land on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he dodged their attacks. Then, he attacked one of them. The man was slightly surprised, but he did not panic. The one that Lu Ming had easily defeated was the weakest among the 3 of them. He was only a 3-star Great Emperor, while he was a 4-star Great Emperor. A 4-star Great Emperor had already reached the high-level Great Emperor realm, and his battle prowess was far beyond that of a 3-star Great Emperor. Meteor Fist! He bellowed in rage and his fist shot towards Lu Ming like a shooting star at an astonishing speed. Boom! At the same time, Lu Ming threw a punch as well. The 2 fists collided heavily. Kacha! When the 2 fists collided, the youth's arm was bent, and the bones in his arm were broken. The scales on his skin flew everywhere, and his body trembled as he retreated. His eyes were filled with deep fear. He felt that Lu Ming's strength was too strong. It was as if he could move mountains and tread the sea. It was difficult to resist. Not good. Then, he was shocked and retreated quickly because Lu Ming had arrived again. However, how could his speed be compared to Lu Ming's? As he retreated, Lu Ming had already arrived. Suppression. It was a complete suppression. Although the foreign youth tried his best to resist, he only managed to block 2 moves before he followed in the footsteps of the previous person. Lu Ming grabbed his throat and threw him to the ground, lying on the ground, unable to move. It took time to describe, but all of this happened in an instant. In the blink of an eye, the 2 longevity role experts were crushed by Lu Ming. The remaining person was almost scared to death. He had been able to deal with the 3-star Great Emperor, but now, even a 4-star Great Emperor had been crushed. He was panicking. He retreated decisively, like a stream of light. You want to leave? Lu Ming laughed coldly. His muscles trembled and the space exploded. Lu Ming charged towards the other party and closed in on him in an instant. The other party tried his best to resist, but the result was already set in stone. After 2 moves, he crashed into the ground like a meteorite, unable to move. This. The eyes of the surrounding non-humans almost popped out of their sockets. Looking at the 3 longevity role experts lying on the ground, they felt as if they were dreaming. Those were 3 experts on the longevity role, and their rankings were not low either. However, they could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. In just a few moves, the 3 of them were lying on the ground like dead dogs. Terrifying. They finally knew how terrifying Lu Ming's abilities were. Previously, he had not used his full strength at all. Perhaps, he had not used his full strength yet. How powerful was Lu Ming now? Mo Tianluo, Mo Ping, Storm, and the others all turned pale. Lu Ming's ability was beyond their imagination. The commotion here had also alarmed some of the experts on the Holy Mountain. Quite a few people flew over. There were more and more people here. When the people behind found out about the situation, they were all shocked. With this kind of strength, could it be that your so-called longevity roll doesn't have any stronger experts? Lu Ming spoke, his voice filled with faint contempt. All the alien races didn't look good. In the vast evil god world, there were countless experts. But now, a human youth was mocking them for not having any experts at the edge of the Holy Mountain. This was really embarrassing. This kid is looking for death. Let me slap him to death. An extremely powerful expert from the Holy Mountain said ferociously. However, Jia Yi released a terrifying aura and scared that person away. The kings have given the order that this person cannot die. The rest doesn't matter. Jia Yi's voice rang out, causing many people to stop. They naturally understood what the kings meant. The kings referred to the kings of the 10 royal families. What was Lu Ming's background? He actually made the king's order that he could not die. This made all the alien races even more curious. Is there no one else to fight? What a disappointment. Lu Ming's next words made many of the alien races sulk. They really felt that Lu Ming deserved a beating. Many powerful beings really wanted to go out and beat Lu Ming up. This guy is very strong. In my opinion, unless it's an expert ranked in the top 20 on the longevity roll, no one below the 20th rank is his match. Good. Well, spread the news on the Holy Mountain. The top 20 of the longevity roll will definitely rush over when they hear it. Not bad. Many people discussed and then flew toward the Holy Mountain. Lu Ming, if you have the guts, just wait here. There will be experts coming to fight you. Mo Tianluo stared at Lu Ming and said, "As you wish." Lu Ming smiled and then closed his eyes to rest in the air. Chapter 2417 Strange Attack 1 News about Lu Ming spread rapidly in the Holy Mountain. A human youth actually received an order from the kings to not die. Interesting. And his battle prowess is astonishing. Let's go and take a look. Such discussions could be heard everywhere on the Holy Mountain. Then, one figure after another flew out of the Holy Mountain and approached Lu Ming and the others. There were even heavenly emperor powerhouses who had arrived. Labu, it's Labu. Suddenly, someone shouted. Everyone saw a young man coming from the Holy Mountain and standing in the air. This person was a member of the non-human royal family. He had purple hair, but his appearance was ordinary. He was thin, and his face was cold. His eyes were pale gold, and a cold light flowed between his eyes. After he arrived, he swept his gaze across Lu Ming and revealed a strong desire to fight. Labu is ranked 19th on the longevity roll. He's only been cultivating for 3,700 years, and he's definitely a rare genius. That's right, with Labu's help, that brat will definitely lose. Look, Kiju is here too. As everyone was discussing, an even stronger cry of surprise suddenly erupted. A young man appeared in the sky. This young man was also a member of the non-human royal family, but he was different from Labu. He was very handsome and had jade-like skin. He was even more beautiful than a woman. Upon seeing this young man, Labu's pale golden eyes flashed with solemnity and fear. Kiju was ranked 9th on the longevity roll, 10 places higher than Labu. He was much stronger. Even Kue Ju, one of the top 10 on the longevity roll, is here. Let's see how arrogant that human brat can be this time. That's right. This time, he'll be the one to be beaten into a dead dog. I'm really looking forward to it. Everyone was looking forward to the next battle. As for Lu Ming, he was indifferent to all these. He had a leisurely look on his face as he closed his eyes to rest. Following that, more and more experts came. There were dozens of longevity roll experts present. 7 or 8 of the top 20 had come, and even a few of the top 10 had come. Lu Ming, you're still pretending to be calm. Now that the expert is here, do you dare to fight? Mo Tianluo shouted. Among the people present, no one looked forward to Lu Ming being abused more than him. He could not wait to see Lu Ming being abused. Are all of you here? I'm afraid it's another bunch of weaklings. Why don't we wait a little longer? Lu Ming opened his eyes and said casually. The experts on the longevity roll almost vomited blood from anger. All of them were filled with fighting spirit, and their eyes were burning with anger. You're boasting shamelessly. Don't think that you're invincible just because you've defeated a few people. I'll come and fight you. With a roar, a burly alien rushed toward Lu Ming. Everyone immediately recognized that this person was an expert ranked 32nd on the longevity roll. His battle prowess was extremely profound. Boom! Lu Ming also rushed out and threw a punch. Lu Ming's punch exploded with a shocking amount of power, directly crushing the other party's attack. The other party spat out a large mouthful of blood and was sent flying. Like I said, I can't even withstand a single blow. Lu Ming said in disdain. He didn't want to dawdle any longer. He immediately displayed his powerful strength so that the weaker ones didn't dare to go up. The eyes of the longevity roll experts narrowed. Lu Ming was indeed capable. I'll fight you. A voice rang out, and then a thin figure stepped out. Everyone recognized him as the 19th ranked Labu on the longevity roll. Finally, the top 20 experts of the longevity roll were about to make their move. Everyone was filled with anticipation. Make your move, Lu Ming said calmly. Baz. Before Lu Ming could finish his sentence, Labu moved at an astonishing speed and charged toward Lu Ming. With every step he took, the void trembled and his speed increased. When he neared Lu Ming, his speed had reached its maximum. Whoosh! His palm was like a knife as he slashed at Lu Ming with shocking power. However, the most shocking thing was yet to come. Just as his palm was about to reach Lu Ming, his palm suddenly changed. His palm was like mercury. It suddenly elongated and wriggled, turning into a saber. It slashed at Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. What is this technique? Lu Ming's eyes flickered and his muscles trembled. He retreated rapidly and dodged the other party's saber. However, as soon as Lu Ming retreated, the other party's palm changed again. It wriggled rapidly and turned into a soft whip. The soft whip had spikes on it as it whipped toward Lu Ming. It can even be like this. Lu Ming was extremely surprised and he struck out with his palm. Thump! When his palm hit the soft whip, it was as if he had hit a mountain, causing a violent vibration. 5-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The other party's cultivation was equivalent to a 5-star Great Emperor. However, he was definitely a genius among geniuses, considering that he had cultivated to this level in just a few thousand years. His combat strength was extremely shocking, and he couldn't be compared to ordinary 5-star Great Emperors. Lu Ming was not his opponent's match with his physical strength alone. After the collision, Lu Ming was forced to retreat. Lu Ming is no match for them. Ha ha ha, I knew that Labu would definitely win. Come on, let's beat that brat up. A human dares to be arrogant in our realm. The surrounding non-humans were very excited. Mo Tianluo, Storm, and the others also looked excited. After forcing Lu Ming back with one attack, Labu's other hand also struck at Lu Ming. His other hand turned into a weapon as well. It was a combat sword and he slashed it at Lu Ming. Looks like he'll need to use the combination of laws. Lu Ming muttered. Then, rays of light appeared on his body. More than 10 rays of light covered Lu Ming's body, like a colorful armor. Lu Ming cast a modified version of the Chaos Divine Palm and struck the Labu with both palms. Bang! 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 The two of them collided continuously, causing loud rumbles. Labu's attack style was very strange. His hands seemed to be really made of mercury, and they could change into all kinds of weapons at will. The key was that they were extremely powerful and could change into many things, making it impossible to guard against. However, Lu Ming's explosive world force and the augmentation of more than 10 types of laws caused his combat strength to skyrocket, and he was faintly suppressing his opponent. The reason why Lu Ming did not unleash his full power to defeat his opponent was that he felt that the alien races had strange and mysterious means. He wanted to see more of them. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. Lu Ming seemed to have the upper hand. The surrounding non-humans didn't say anything, and their faces were filled with depression. Labu was actually at a disadvantage. Those people who had thought that Labu would definitely win felt that they had lost face. At this moment, Labu also started to feel anxious. Suddenly, he changed his attack. He actually charged toward Lu Ming head-on and adopted a desperate fighting style. However, to Lu Ming's surprise, just as he charged forward, his head and his hands transformed rapidly and sharp spikes grew out. His head had become like a giant hammer. Chapter 2418 Agreement of 3 Moves Thump. Lu Ming's palm struck Labus' head. It was as if he had struck a giant hammer. A powerful force surged toward Lu Ming. Then, as if there was no bone spine, Labus' waist bent into a terrifying arc. His legs were like 2 knives, slashing toward Lu Ming. The angle was extremely strange and tricky. An ordinary person might not be able to avoid it if they were not careful. Lu Ming cast the 6-feathered divine wings. Coupled with the vibration of his muscles, his speed was extremely fast. In a flash, he dodged the opponent's attack. His entire body can be turned into a weapon. Interesting. However, it's time for this battle to end. Lu Ming muttered. There were a few more lights on his body. Reincarnation cutting. Lu Ming shouted in a low voice. His palms seemed to be pushing the water and dancing in the air. A huge vortex appeared in the void. This was a divine power that Lu Ming had created. Over the years, Lu Ming had mastered 10 ultimate maxims and 71 king path maxims. With so many maxims intertwining with each other, they could produce countless divine powers. Over the years, Lu Ming had made many attempts and developed some strange divine abilities. However, each of these divine powers had different characteristics and the number of laws they contained was different. Some contained more than 10 types, some 20 types, some 30 types. The more laws it contained, the more powerful it would naturally be. However, he didn't manage to research a divine power that contained 81 laws. It was too difficult and required a long time to study. This reincarnation cutting technique was a sacred art that contained more than a dozen laws. One of them was the reincarnation law, and the other 2 were the 2 strongest laws and 12 king path laws. A huge vortex spun madly, containing a terrifying cutting power, and covered the Labu in an instant. Labu used all his strength to resist, and his body turned into all kinds of weapons, charging forward. However, at this moment, Lu Ming rushed over and attacked continuously. Finally, Labu could not withstand Lu Ming's continuous palm strikes. His body trembled violently and he was sent flying thousands of miles away. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. Labu was defeated. Many people looked at each other. This human brat was way too strong. Most importantly, they had heard that Lu Ming had only cultivated for less than 200 years. How was it possible that he was so powerful in less than 200 years? In the depths of the sky, some people were also watching. If others were to see this, they would definitely be shocked. This was because any one of them could shake the evil god world. This was because these people were the kings that others spoke of. The evil god race was the king of the 10 great king races. However, not all of them came, but there were still 5 of them. Each of these 5 was a peak expert in this world and were extremely terrifying. Lu Ming arrived at the holy mountain. These terrifying experts were very curious and came over to take a look. After all, Lu Ming had the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. This brat is actually strong to this extent. It's really beyond expectations. This kind of genius has a higher ambition than the sky. It's difficult to make him feel despair. Indeed, such people are all blessed with great fortune. They are all very confident. No matter what kind of predicament they face, they believe that they can get out of it. The kings of the non-human race discussed. They knew very well what kind of person Lu Ming was because they themselves were such people. Otherwise, how could they stand at the peak of the world? There's no other way. He's already come this far, so he can only keep going. There'll always be someone on the longevity roll who can suppress him. An elderly non-human king said. Not bad. The non-human kings all nodded. They seemed to be very confident in one of the longevity roll's members. Below. You're quite capable, but it's a pity that you're still not good enough. Next. Lu Ming cast a glance at Labu and said indifferently. At the scene, a few young men looked at each other. They were all experts ranked between 10th and 20th on the longevity roll, but they weren't confident in winning if they were asked to fight. Although they were stronger than Labu, they were not that much stronger. They were afraid that if Lu Ming had held back just now, they would most likely be defeated. Therefore, They were a little hesitant. "I'll do it." At this moment, Kuei-ju spoke and appeared in front of Lu Ming. This made the eyes of many people light up. Kiju was an expert ranked 9th on the longevity roll. The top 10 of the longevity roll were all freakishly powerful. With Kiju taking action, they were at ease. "Your name is Lu Ming?" Kiju looked at Lu Ming. "Not bad." Lu Ming nodded. "I've never heard of such an expert like you in the human race." Kuei-ju smiled, looking extremely handsome. If he was in the human race, he would be able to charm countless young girls. Lu Ming smiled casually and did not say much. "I don't want to fight you fiercely either. That's what ordinary people do. How about we decide the winner in 3 moves? Kiju said. 3 moves. Lu Ming said. "That's right. If I can't defeat you within 3 moves, it'll be my loss. However, there's a rule. You can't dodge, you can only meet force with force. How about it?" Kuei-ju said with a cunning look in his eyes. "All right." Lu Ming smiled, his smile very bright. This kid actually agreed. Haha, this time, he's going to lose even more. He actually agreed to exchange 3 moves with Kiju. He's going to lose. The other alien races laughed wildly in their hearts. They looked relieved, thinking that Lu Ming would lose for sure. Lu Ming did not know the power of Kiju. Lu Ming naturally noticed the reactions of the people around him. However, would Lu Ming be afraid? He wanted to defeat him in 3 moves? Lu Ming was confident that no one below the Heavenly Emperor could do it. "Make your move." Lu Ming's voice was heard and the entire venue quieted down. Everyone widened their eyes and waited for the moment when Lu Ming was defeated. Boom! Kiju's body gave off a powerful aura. 6-star Great Emperor. Kiju's cultivation was already at 6-star Great Emperor, and he was currently emitting a purple light that was extremely bright. Then, purple scales appeared on his skin. Royal non-human races were originally similar to humans. They no longer had scales on their bodies. However, at this moment, purple scales appeared on Kuei-ju's body once again. Countless scales covered the surface of Kiju. It's here. Kiju is about to use this move. Lu Ming is bound to lose. Emo Tianluo's eyes were filled with excitement. Lu Ming did not know, but they were very clear. The strongest part of Kiju was its explosive power. Kiju had a unique skill that consumed a lot of energy, but it was extremely powerful. Even the experts on the longevity roll didn't dare to take it head-on and could only avoid it. However, for this kind of unique skill, the gathering could only be used for a few moves. Therefore, he made a pact with Lu Ming to use 3 moves. Moreover, he could only fight head-on. He did not expect that Lu Ming would agree to it stupidly. Was he not going to lose? You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.